we are back with another episode of Survivors of Tarnstead. We're going to start in our usual manner of introduction. First up, we have Blackheart as
Carrick Marsh.
with Kronos as
Shaxan Rodskala.
with Haddan as
Tilden.
with Marcus as
Clovis Sutterloss.
with Semi as
Gift and Greysteel.
with Tobias as
SVP is Steelshot.
you have me, Yuli, as your friendly DM. I'm going to ask who would like to do the recap. If I have no volunteers, I'm going to roll for it randomly. Rolling time, I hear.
Roll it.
Okay,
Nice.
now I'm going to roll this dice. I'm not going to broke any excuses or complaints about
Are you
I can't do a
rolling?
recap.
Are you rolling a D6 or D7?
Listen,
So you could get a recap and get a card.
what I'd like to do is I'm going to roll a d5. That's what I'd like to do. Because Sam has been doing this back to back to back to back. So I'm probably going to reroll if it lands on her.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't mind being included in the D6. I'll do it if the dice decide.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That is 6. So that is Toby.
Of course.
You all play my game. You all should be paying attention. You should all be able to do a recap.
It's been a week.
This is my stern DM moment.
I've done it when it's 2 weeks. You can do it.
Let's see. We went on a shopping trip. Much money was spent. Much fun was had. We met a dragonborn skeleton who ran a jewelry shop, which we pulled some very amazing items out of. Gifton got a pair of matching cloaks, which are really beautiful. Cass
You mean
got a
magic
hairpin.
shop, right?
Yeah, it's a magic shop.
You said jewelry shop.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually the lover next door.
Yes.
My
Do
apologies.
you remember both or either of their names?
I do.
I believe I wrote this down. Leon's and the shop belongs to Leon.
Okay, that is one of them. That is the Dragonborn Enchanter. Well done. Do you remember who
And
owns the jewelry store?
I forgot that one. I didn't write that one down.
Okay, that one is Mitch.
Mitch. But Leon's is Leon's Industrious Enchantments.
Mm-hmm.
And I dragged everyone in there thinking
You'd get a weapon enchantment.
Did Toby
Did we
mute
lose
or
Toby?
drop? Toby?
Toby.
Toby?
testing.
Someone bang on the window again.
Okay,
Okay,
there you
I
are.
can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on because I've been talking and it just stopped.
Okay, so you went into there thinking.
That we could get a weapon enchantment. Cannot, because that's not what he does. So, everything continued. People bought stuff. We got shipped next door because Gifton handed over a massive diamond.
Indeed.
Well, the guy was going to make a killing, but lo and behold, deals were struck. Carrot is having a brilliant mask made. And I believe another one is getting made for Raziel again. But Gifton needs to get the measurements from Raziel so it will fit properly. We also visited a tinkerer shop, which is run by a Tamari ghost by the name of Miss White.
Mhm.
And she's a specter of sorts, probably a poltergeist, considering she can move things without ever being seen.
Yeah.
Very friendly individual, very prim, very proper. And Gifton bought essentially a self-playing piano. No, actually, it was smaller than that.
Yeah, it's a music box that can have rolls. Which out of it?
We were discussing that it was like a player piano. That's why I was thinking that. But we continued on. We met a toy maker by the name of Bull, who looks like who used to be a Goliath, but is now a giant moose marionette.
Indeed, a humanoid
really friendly
one.
Guy. What's that?
Indeed, the humanoid one.
Yes. Very friendly gentleman, regrets what he did in the past. Find out that he was trained by Christoph, who also trained in Gunderson, who trained me. So there is a very interesting lineage for woodworking and carving going back to one man.
He's like your woodcurving great uncle or something like that.
He would be an uncle in the lineage, as it were. But we continued on. We met a tailor by the name of Ella, or at least we were given. Cass was told in order to find the proper wood for Scrim's throne, she would need to commune with the spirits to be led to the proper tree, which is going to be a thing in the future. We continued on. We found a bookseller. And stuff was bought.
Mm-hmm. That one was very nondescript, yeah.
Yeah, many things were bought. We also had a run-in with I'm going to say a macabre Spanish-esque gentleman by the name of Alejandro, who is a seller of fine instruments, including the first electric guitar. Amazing stuff.
Lightning in an instrument.
Really amazing. What's that?
Lightning in an instrument.
Yeah.
Lightning guitar. I can't say that word.
And then eventually we ended up at the weaponsmith, Emma, who was very curt. Kind of a flesh golem. Still very curt. But Cass got her weapon off, bought a new rapier, and one of our guards made mention that, hey, I think she took a liking to you. And it's like, what? That's the friendliest I've ever heard to talk to someone. We also had a contingent of guards following us around. And Gifton kept causing trouble. By saying very inappropriate things at very inappropriate times.
Yes.
We also
I'm innocent.
Yeah, that's what she wants you to believe. But we also met a skeleton mage upstairs in the apartments. Very friendly individual. And I believe that. And then we finished off by heading towards the gate.
Yep. And that basically sums it up. Go ahead and draw yourself a heroic inspiration.
I have a quick question, because I may have asked this and I may have just spaced on it. Is it Miss White like the color, or White like WIGHT like the...
None of you asked.
I'm actually out of character right now.
I asked out of game and you told me it was white like the color.
Yeah, no, I'm saying out of game, white, yeah, but none of you actually know in character.
Okay.
In character, we don't know.
Yes, but I can put it in my notes. Because I want to spell names right in notes. So I did spell it right.
Yes, her name is... She doesn't even go by Miss, she just goes by White. She's a... Well, she would say she's a Yuri, but yes, the closest thing is a poltergeist indeed.
I'm also really sad. When everyone was going for the name, I had Mitch, but I was like, that's too much of a normal name. I couldn't have written it right.
Some people have normal names, it happens.
I know, but I was like, I don't want to get up and be wrong. Yeah, but I figured...
Alejandro's a normal name from where he's from.
That one I actually had the writing down and knew that was for sure. The Mitch just seemed off for me. I don't know why, and I felt bad when it was the right answer.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, the party is indeed heading to the gates, taking your ill-gotten gains, including a rather large piano, back to the airship.
We got wedged in the airship, as I recall. 'Cause
Yes.
we did get it wedged in a hallway in the
Yeah.
airship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but that's right. Where I'd left off was you guys had made it to the airship, and had indeed stored the piano in the airship. That's all that matters, really. It's in there.
Yep.
And Nick, departing from the airship after just basically doing some vague reports, catching up with Scarlett. Was everything okay here? Just the usual busy work.
Informing her she might have a guest because we don't know if we'll have to have Corvus's dad stay there.
Yep. Yeah. After that, you basically find yourselves idling on the airship, deciding what to do, where to go. You want to return back into town? Do you want to visit the encampment? There doesn't seem.
The guards followed us out to the airship, correct?
They didn't go all the way to the airship, but they basically escorted you to the gates, and they are basically that's where they are because they are your escorts for when you come back in.
Okay.
I do need to go into the encampment to go speak with General.
Is a captain?
Yeah. General Costner. I need to speak with him and pick up that stuff and see about doing those arrangements. But Corvus, we should see about your father.
Yes, so I would be heading off to that direction.
All right. Well, we'll go with you.
All right.
Will you
Yeah.
be bringing your lover to see him?
Not at this moment in time. Maybe
Cassie got to stay on the
something at
airship.
a later date.
What was that?
Staying on the
Yeah.
airship, Cass, apparently.
No, he's got 2 lovers now, remember?
Oh,
No. Cassie was the one he pined for, and it's unrequited love.
Yeah, and then there's...
Echo is actually his lover, who he drops to the wayside all the time. Like proper.
yeah.
love.
By the way, Echo does seem to be. She's looking a little bored on here.
Echo, you want to come with us?
As the DM swallows down the wrong hole.
I was... Oh my.
Oh my.
Don't use your
I mean,
ears.
I invited her out with us on other times we've gone out, so I'll just invite her out again. Echo, you want to come?
She glances on over. And she goes, "Where?"
Well, we're gonna go into the refugee camp. We're gonna go talk to Corvus's dad, and then I gotta go talk to a general dude, General Costner, and then I'm gonna go back into the undead place. And as I recall, you got permission to go in there from Luther. Because Luther did meet her and said, okay.
I would like to join you for the undead place. I'm bored of. Well,
Living people?
yes, it's getting samey.
Okay.
All right.
Just, I guess...
How about we come back and pick you up on the way?
Yes.
Or do you want to just come with us the whole time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unless somebody wants me to. Then I will stay here.
Don't think any of us would say no if you were coming, but...
She sort of
All right,
side
well-
glances towards Corvus as she says that. And then,
That's what I was figuring.
I'm gonna give Echo a hug.
You,
It's okay, he'll come around.
good touching.
you, Echo, you
Gifton's
are
used to
welcome
hearing
to come along. I don't know how long we'll stay in the refugee camp and talk with my father, but
Too delayed. You're occupied. I can wait.
Oh, ow. Ow.
right. All right.
I told you she's a person and she has feelings.
How many of them?
Shall we be off then?
Yep.
Sounds like a good
Let's
idea.
go.
So you're all set off from the airship, heading into camp. Costner or Corvus's father first?
Corvus's father first.
Okay. So you make your way basically to the medical tent that he had set up. And as you arrive, you can actually see that there's a lot less people here now. You see him just in the sort of open flaps of the tent, talking to a couple of people. You saw those two assisting the previous day you were here. And as you approach, you can actually hear him essentially making sure that they understand what they're doing now that he's going to be going. He's making it clear that he's not sticking around here. But he still feels a degree of responsibility and wants to make sure things are in good order. And it takes a minute of him sort of talking to these people before, he acknowledges you're there and just puts up a hand as if like, give me a moment. But once he nods to them and they sort of move off, he comes on over and goes, well, I would like to say I am packed, but I do not have much to pack. I have my medical bag and that is it.
Have you decided where you'll be going, then?
I want to go and see your brother. I want to make sure he's okay.
Not.
And he sort of reaches out and puts his hand on your upper arms and goes, you could come with me. I worry about you as well, but you do seem to be doing well.
I mean,
That's
you could
an
probably
opinion.
spare a day or two if you wanted, Corvus, you know? Family's important.
Yes, I think that can be arranged.
He smiles brightly when you say that.
And we'll have to get permission to use the teleporters and stuff. But it sounds like from talking to Wilhelm and Valda and them when we were in at the council chambers that they'd be fine with having you come in, but they need to have Luther check you for madness real quick.
Of course, I understand. I hope my fuzziness of memory won't cause problems.
Maybe this will help. This is a fresh day. I'm expending my free wish spell really quick. I'm casting Greater Restoration on him. That is normally a cure for feeble mind.
Okay, right. You cast this on him, and there is a moment where he sort of doesn't stagger back so much, but there is that sort of lean back, that sort of jolt of mental shock. Oh, thank you.
I'm just kind of snapping back into place hard.
That is very helpful.
Did that freshen you up a bit?
That has cleared many things up, yes.
Okay, good. I looked into how to heal that after Corvus told me what happened, because I know that's one of the things that really upset him. Look over at Corvus.
He's just fidgeting with his glasses. Yes,
Corvus. I'm so sorry that I abandoned you for all those years.
it's nothing that you had to be sorry about.
I am your father, and you bore that weight. I must be sorry about it. It can't not be.
You had no idea what was happening.
Just to make sure I have accountability, I put that there. See Greater Resto.
Thank you. He looks slightly abashed before he just sort of pats your shoulder a bit, Corvus, and just goes, It means a lot. Why don't I clear some things up for you now that they have been cleared up for me?
Did you want some private time with your son?
That is up to him. The things I am going to tell him, I do not demand that he keep them secret, but if he wants this to be between us, then you should be able to decide this, Corvus.
I'm not the most responsive individual, So it may be prudent to have other minds present to inquire in certain aspects that I overlook.
Please, why don't we sit down for a moment? And he just sort of gestures you all into that little private tent flap of his, which is now even better than it was. There's just some crates left in there now, which he'll just go and sit on one.
I'll sit on the dirt floor. I'm not proud. I'll do it. I'll hold Dingus in my lap and hug him.
So, what do you all know of me and my work?
I know that Corvus has a big book of things that you have done, and that he figured out the code that was with the locket, and he figured out all sorts of cipher stuff, and he said it was like really important, and your father's work was really super cool, and I never get a look at the book.
Well, it is good that you have kept it secret. He sort of reaches out and places a hand on you, Corvus.
I have been on the up, and I am one of the I am a Hexenrec researcher who had heard your name spoken in channels.
Well, my work lent itself into a few fields. You understand that many different projects are done. Some get abandoned, some get handed off, and some just never see fruition.
I worked with some who were working on things based on some of your research.
May I ask what?
I'm not certain I was not privy to those research options. The main thing I worked on was this, and Jax just kind of lifts the arm for the armor.
I see. Well, some of the things that I worked on during my time were alternatives to using our own soldiery. Creating alternatives to golems, other animate objects. Reanimation was one of them.
Never found that gemstone. Gemstone that you talked about a lot. Could never find anything of the sort.
Where did you look?
Well, around Barras, but never was really important, I guess. Just thing that I attached to momentarily to see if maybe this would unlock new things, and eventually things just got out of hand. So
The preoccupations.
Well, and
Yes.
perhaps one day we will take a trip together. Go to Imor's Land, collect some ourselves. But
never been to him.
I went there once on a small excursion. Has its own charm, but still, I am getting sidetracked. Those projects are not what got me. What made me flee?
Removed.
What made me a threat? Removed. Cognitively, I suppose you could say. You all understand the principles of magic. Those that have it, have it. Those that do not, do not. And he sort of looks around expectantly, just making sure everyone's aware of that fact.
Turtle nod.
There are exceptions to this. The fine properties can be endowed, of course, unless they're not considered magic per se, although my own research shows that they are a lot more alike than most think. But you also are familiar with magical auras.
Yeah, I see them.
Yes, you see none on me, I assume.
I don't think I do. Do I?
No, you do not.
No, I don't see anything on you.
He's silent for a moment, and then he just simply flips up his hand, and a little fireball appears in it.
Did I see anything?
There was a brief sort of shimmer, as if like an aura emerging for him briefly when he cast.
That's weird. It's like it shimmered for a second.
I discovered that which enables anyone to cast magic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Dangerous.
He nods at Gifton, and then he nods at you a lot more emphatically, Jackson. I discovered this, I tested it, and then my project was shut down. Quite firmly.
People came looking.
At first, it was just shut down, and they were told... They told me not to pursue this course anymore, not to speak of it. And then I was approached by, well, some gentleman who encouraged my research and offered to provide me resources and funds to continue it. And I was a complete fool. They said no strings attached, and I believed them. When things went south, when I made breakthroughs and they started demanding that I teach them how to harness the more destructive forces, I went to my own government for help. And they were not happy. Not at all.
Mm.
I realized very quickly what a terrible situation I had put myself and my wife in. I had friends, and I was informed that I would likely not be seeing the light of day ever again.
Very firm on that sort of thing.
So of course I ran. I took those that I loved and I ran. I had made it very clear in what I had left behind that I had contingencies, that on my death, the secrets that I knew would be shared with other nations. I do not know if you are familiar with the clone spell. It is creating a copy of oneself that the consciousness shall be transferred to upon one's death.
So you're a copy of Corvus's dad.
The body is my mind, my soul. They are the original.
Yes, new body, same soul.
It is a younger version of myself, which is a small benefit, I suppose, after it triggering after so long. But I suppose that is why they feeble-minded me. They knew that if my body died, I would return to a new one.
You return much more able.
Yes.
So, the one who did it, you knew who they were, that you were part of their contingencies, or did they purposely track you down for that action?
Do you know the name of the one who did this to me?
I know nothing about who did this.
Unfortunately, I never got to see their face. I have my suspicions of who it might have been, although it is more of a assumed name.
Oh, you said it was like Becker or
They were communications between my father and them.
But didn't you, like, when you made a deal, find out exactly where that person was?
Yes. 3rd floor. Left hallway.
Military Academy.
The
right?
office of Shizel.
Sixth door down. Never got a name.
Shizel.
Shizel?
Shizel.
Shizel.
It is an assumed name. Operative handed down to the next in line. Magical problem solvers.
But I imagine that individual is no longer part of this whole place that we are now in.
I have certainly not seen them here, but whether they are out there in their own state of mind or not, I am unaware.
What happened to your wife?
She died later. After it all.
She did?
Yes. Oh no, that's Lewis's wife. Sorry.
Yeah. My wife, we ran into problems in Brest. She wanted to support the family as best she could, and took to ill means to do so. Thievery, and I never held it against her, not for a second. We were in a bad situation, and she wanted to make sure our sons were fed. And I was not so useful. I tried to earn what coin I could as a doctor, but, well, most people where we were could not pay much for a doctor, you understand? And I could not just turn them away. So I tended to lose more in reagents than I made.
Mm-hmm.
But she kept our sons fed, she kept them clothed. She was far braver than me, until things went sour and I had to take some blame. And the only way to escape that was to leave. And we split our boys. I do not know if that was the best decision we made, but made it easier for some of us to hide away and draw attention. I received a letter of her passing a couple of years after that. And he clearly clenches his jaw when he says that, like emotion washing over his face. This is something still hurts him.
I guess I'm gonna lean over and put a hand on his and give it a gentle squeeze.
It was when I was returning from seeing...
What are you doing, Marcus?
Rubbing my desk.
Okay, it sounds like you have a washboard.
It came off. Yeah, my nails hit the desk.
It was
Yeah,
when
sorry.
I was returning from seeing Lewis that our would-be mental assassin struck me. But I had to go see that my other boy was okay, comfort him. But I refilled myself, so... a mistake I would gladly make again. I'm sorry. And he just takes a handkerchief and sort of dabs his eyes a little bit.
That's okay. Take your time.
Still, the family matters, I imagine, matter little to all of you. They are for me and Corvus. In short, yes, I was quite the brilliant researcher, he says with a little bit of wryness in his voice. And I discovered things that I perhaps should not have. But there is now no extra government through which to hunt me. But I am still being cautious, thus the assumed name.
However scattered they are, the gentlemen are still around.
They
They've
don't want to be
lost-
in any true organized fashion anymore, though.
No, they lost most of their capabilities some time ago.
You seemed aware of the fact there were multiple Corvuses. Can you tell us that part of the story?
I can. When I was... You are all from... Well, most of you are from Tarnstead. I can remember a lot more clearly now. The memories there are still scattered a little, as frankly my mind was not in array, and I do not think that can be fixed, but I recognize your kind and your face. He looks at you, Cass, and Carrick. You were a woodworker in town, were you not?
Yeah.
And you worked at the bar.
Yes, sir.
Your mother owned it, no?
No, she was
Worked
the...
there.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Miss Thornberry owned it.
Yes.
Always acted as if she did, though.
Yes. Kind of always been her way.
I remember her
His
fighting
mother
meals.
was actually in Wintercroft.
She is now.
She
She survived.
Yes.
She survived
yes.
the attack from the Goliaths. We met with her there.
He smiles at you, Carrick goes, I am very gladdened to hear that.
I was very glad to hear it myself.
But, yes, so you remember the night of the burning.
Yeah, it was awful.
And, I was too weak to go on. He looks at you, Corvus, and I told you to run. You listened to me, and I am very proud of you for that. You are a good boy. So imagine my shock when you appeared before me. A little different, but I don't think I could make sense of that then. You reached your hand out after striking down the Goliath who was approaching me. You said you were there to save me. And then you were there again, striking yourself down, weeping as you did. I remember the look of despair and sorrow on your face as you told me you had to make it right, how sorry you were. As you drew a pistol. And he falls silent. A hand just sort of reaching up to touch his head.
I'm gonna give his hand another squeeze.
I could not understand what was happening at the time, and to be...
Pistol or revolver?
I'm afraid I do not quite make the distinction. Weapons technology was never my forte. It had a barrel pointed at me. I saw a hole in a tube.
It probably
does make sense,
happened
makes
very
sense.
quickly.
Yes. I think you wanted to make sure that my last moments weren't in fear. Even then I could see how much it was hurting you.
And then after that, you woke up.
How did the others look? First one and the second.
Both much like you did now, though the second one he sort of touches over his torso a bit. A strange apparatus. It looks like he was working on himself, much like some of the mechanoid projects from back home.
That corpus.
I don't stand to reason.
And yes, as you say, after that, I woke up in a secret chamber that I had prepared myself in before leaving Hexenreich. Confused, dazed, dazzled. I nearly starved the first few days, too bewildered in my own mind to even remember to eat, to know where the rations were. It took time for me to piece myself back together, but the feeble-mindedness, it was tied to the physicality of the other body. Only the mental effects remained, and I started to recover. And I set out, trying to figure out who I was, trying to make my way, keep myself safe as I recalled my identity.
The whole time Hexenreich started falling apart around you.
Yes. Can you imagine what it is like to barely know who you are, where you are, and then the world starts to collapse? It's like being in a nightmare you cannot wake from.
Well, let's get you out of this nightmare.
Please do not let my dramatization worry you. I am quite better now. Even before your help, I was grounded enough.
Yes, you were doing quite well. I'm just saying that, it will do my heart good to know that you're someplace safe, sir. The Sinclairs, if you remember them, they made it out as well.
There's the hunters.
Yeah, the hunters.
I remember.
Yeah, they made it out. They moved to another city farther out, but we keep in correspondence with them.
That all? Those are the only.
Lana also.
Yeah, Lana made it. Lana Moore.
She is.
There were, we think, maybe another couple groups, but it was
So few.
It was mostly everybody.
I had held out some hope as I started to recall that the attack had been repelled.
No, there is a crater in the ground where Tarnstead once was.
He looks over to you, Corvus, and just says, even...
Corvus is, his left hand is bouncing on his leg, and his right hand is covering his eyes underneath his glasses.
Okay. He actually sort of moves on over close to you and actually puts an arm around you and pulls you in against him.
Mm-hmm.
They say, no touching, but you'll excuse me for this. And he actually just sort of hugs you tightly, Corvus.
Basically, Corvus is just trembling and stiff. He doesn't understand how he needs to react to this. He doesn't feel any connection to this man sitting in front of him because it's not anything that he ever knew. He doesn't even remember the people's names in Tarnstead.
Perhaps that is enough story for today.
Did we want to go see about having access granted? We can go send word for Luther to meet us, maybe. I do need to meet with the general's representative and get his plans for defenses. The Framarians are going to allow me to erect stone buildings out here and dig some pits, maybe some underground stuff and other things. So I'm gonna be a little busy.
I am prepared to leave whenever you are, but if you have business, I do not mean to rush you all.
How much did you discuss things about me after I left yesterday.
You're asking your father?
No, just the group.
You are his son, and that is all it needs to be. I told them that you've been through a lot and that you are my friend and you go down a dark path because you're angry sometimes at people, and I worry about you. Gibson's eyes are kind of welling up a little bit, and she kind of looks away. But he is your father, and he's one of many people who love you and will love you no matter what.
You must know that my love for you is unconditional.
I'm aware of all of that, but I don't know how to respond to any of this. I don't.
You don't need to, my boy. Not everything needs an answer.
That's all I've been doing is finding answers, but there's never an answer. There's never an answer to anything. And no matter how far I've come and how much I've done, it's just, it never seems to matter in my view.
Yeah, he sort of looks at you, Corvus, and just like squeezes one of your hands and just goes, "You found me?"
By happenstance.
The universe is full of happenstance. Many research discoveries are happenstance. There's very little logic in the world, Corvus. Be happy for the happenstance when it happens.
I know that. But there's just lost. That's all. Lost and confused. Still that.
Oh.
Human in Tarnstead. Among those who are so much more, so much better. I'm beating myself down, but that's the reality of it. That's the truth of it.
Well,
that's all I've ever done. Because I had nothing to build from.
Then
when I tried to build from, I am shattered for it, thrown apart. And now I'm trying to sort the pieces out, and I have to still do day by day, step forward, following those far ahead, because that's all I can do. I don't know what's going to happen with me, with you, with Lewis and Albrecht.
My boy, that is life. You're a young man. You're supposed to be lost and confused.
You haven't been on the road you've been on as long as you make it seem like you have been, Corvus. You act like at your age that you've squandered all of your life, and you haven't. You've done wonderful things so far with the time you've had. I mean, you joined the military, you became a doctor, you tended people, you've always been there for the hurt, the injured, and the sick. You were always being a doctor and going out there and doing things. And yeah, you have other side projects that don't always get their fruition, but I honestly think it's because in your heart, you were never meant to be a killer. You were never meant to. You're not meant to be hunting people down and killing them and getting this dark revenge that you think is somehow your only life's purpose now. But your life's purpose didn't start until Tarnstead burned. You changed how you started acting after Tarnstead burned, after we all lost everything. And ever since then, you keep talking about how everything you've done up till now is all built for that, but it hasn't been. You're giving yourself a very narrow view of your own life. And your life is so much more that can happen. You can actually, have a family. You can be there for your nephew. You can be there for your father. I mean, these are wonderful things. I mean, I would think that this is only a bit of hope for what could be. You have something to fight for right now. That's what you have. You don't have a reason to break apart. You have a reason to pull yourself together. Your dad's here, your nephew, your brother. You have family. You have people to fight for, people to love. My family loves you. But you can't see that.
Ironic, isn't it?
I honestly think the day you gave up your eyes, you lost the ability to see how beautiful the world is around you. You've been looking for the dark and scary things that are always there, but you can't focus on them because they're not dark and scary. It's just life. That's why Echo's not scary. She's just a person.
Because you made her into a person.
She was a person before anything else happened.
All people are created, Corvus.
Everyone comes from something or was made by something. Think about it. The first dragons were made by Morgani. They turned around and made the dragons, right? They're all made by somebody. And the children I carry inside me, what difference is it that if I carry them in my blood and my life, or if they are wished alive? They are still my children.
Even beyond such mighty things, such grander designs, a simple person is made by circumstance, experience, by memory, by the people around them.
By accident. And not every life has purpose. You know how much of a breakdown I had that I never got my purpose? The draw lights never told me what I was going to be, Corvus. I'll never know what my job was. And that's okay. I'm making my own.
Don't define yourself by your work, by your projects, by what you think you have to be or do.
Do it by the things you love. Live for love. Oh my gosh, I sound like a Tamari worshiper. Lords and ladies, you do this to me.
Boy, if you're not going to live for love, live for pleasure, live for decadence, live for research, live for knowledge, just don't think that you have to achieve something to be something. I wasted so much of my life thinking that.
I mean, everyone who is alive is right now has their own belief of what life is about, what their purpose is, what the purpose of life is, and that what needs to be achieved. And you know what? They're all right because they're pursuing their own choices on it. Right now, you are railing against your own happiness because you decide that you can't live for happiness. You can't live for the things you want to do because consigned to, this has to be done by me.
Aldo was actually looking at you, Gifton, a little perturbed. Before he's going to glance at you, cough, and go, sounds an awful lot like your mother berating me when we were younger.
God.
I mean, she is kind of the mother of all of us in some
And
ways.
your mother was a very bright woman, Corvus. So if she sounds like her, you should
I
listen.
have a very high opinion of Corvus Adderlass, my friend. And I get sick and tired of seeing him beat himself up. Because he acts a lot like my brother, as much as he hates him.
Aldo actually sighs, and he's sort of reaching out and like rubbing your cheek, Corvus, as if getting rid of a bit of dirt on it. And he just goes, you always did get fixated on anything, be it something in your mind or whatever you'd found that interested you.
I think he's going to be okay. He just needs to process how frustrated he is with the words that came out of my mouth.
Corvus has removed his glasses, just that happenstance.
Yeah.
I don't know if Aldo has seen the eyes yet, but
Aldo hasn't, but there isn't a particular shock on his face because
He's seen gentlemen before.
he's seen gentlemen before, and frankly, he's been following the gist of the conversations. And
I did literally just say because you plucked out your eyes.
That sort of thumb that was rubbing your cheek, Corvus, drifts up slightly to like the sort of corner of your eye. Just gives a little rub there.
Also,
Then he kung fu plucks it out.
Mr. Corvus's dad, just so you know, he can't see in color. So if you ever want to really tease him, it's great.
I don't need any of that.
No, of course you don't need it. That's the point of teasing, my dear.
I'm mean with how intelligent.
Might
your
I
father is,
ask
you
why?
probably would have learned.
Corvus?
Because I was weak and insignificant to everyone behind me. I
No,
thought that
you just
there was
thought you
something-
were.
I like your dad. He's giving you the same talk I gave you before you went to go get the eyes.
You do realize I will not let my son beat himself up.
Young man, you'll go to your room.
He rolls down his glove
I'll only give you romance novels to read.
and rolls up his sleeve to show the metal in his arm. I think you may recognize some of that.
And he'll actually take your arm and he pushes your sleeve up further, Corvus.
Oh,
Okay, letting you read my work may have been a little bit of a mistake. And he's actually giving you a stern look when he says this. Still, if it must be said, you've done a good job at this. Did you... Well, you must have figured out the burnout problem. Considering you have not incinerated your own arm, I assume you have cast with this?
yes.
Clever boy. So, your eyes, your arm. It is nothing that can't be undone, that can't be fixed. If you see need to. That
I
is...
know that. That's what the scrolls in my bag is for, in case there ever needs to be a point where this arm needs to come off. I don't know about the eyes, because they are intrinsic to my very being now, because of certain events.
I can help you with that.
I will say the thing that needs to be said. And I think it's
Corvus needs a life?
No. But
Where's that
Corvus
life from,
Corvus
like-
isn't saying, and then he's afraid to tell you. And honestly, I would be as well. Corvus Adderlass made a deal with the being known as the Dreamer. Are you aware of that creature? Look at Aldo.
He sort of shakes his head a little. Beyond some strange mutterings of the crazed, no?
It is a being beyond the gods. All of reality, the gods themselves are all
A dream.
well, errant thoughts construed together to form a cohesive whole. And the dreamer is not quite aware of this existence, but is trying to become aware of it. And it becoming aware would signify the end of the world, as it were, as the dream would break. You may have feel the rumblings like the world was ending.
I did not associate it with a world ending, but I have felt rumblings.
But did you feel something of the approximate time of when?
Yes, of course.
That horrible feeling?
Yes. Existential dread, I would term it.
Yes.
That's when Echo tried to wake up the dreamer.
Well, you're a well-read boy. I'm sure you're familiar that many cultures have supposed that there might be something beyond the gods.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably not the first I have heard of a overbeing. And these ideas of reality not being real, many philosophers have said such a thing.
Corvus Adderlass, along with Carrick, have been mostly talking as the mouthpieces to a version of the dreamer as it is trying to make contact and try to understand the world.
So it is not an indifferent being.
No, it wants to know, experience, and
it does not want to wipe us out.
It doesn't want to wipe everybody out, but it wants to know. And in doing so, it offered a trade to Corvus Adderlass. We do not know what Corvus got out of the trade, but we know what the dreamer got out of the trade.
Me.
There's a sort of momentary look of confusion on his face.
Our friend Corvus.
Our friend Corvus here. It made a perfect copy of Corvus. His soul, his memories, everything.
I don't have that. We've established that because of the gods. Oh, blank creature there. Can't have him in heaven.
No, they're just angry because of all the empty energy in you. But
I say I'm pretty sure none of us are probably.
I see.
Yes.
You don't think that you are real, that you are Corvus.
Yes, he has had an existential problem with this, worrying about it since, but I have told him he is who he believes he is, and that's what matters. And he's having a bit of dissociative, is that a word? Dissociation of himself and who he is. And I think he would be afraid of how you would accept him, but I want him to understand this is your fucking dad and he loves you.
The words are there, yes. It's true, Gifton, but
Corvus.
It doesn't fix
Corvus.
What is... What?
Don't raise your voice to me, boy. And he's actually looking quite stern when he says that. Like a sort of vaguely uncomfortable, familiar sternness. It is childhood sternness.
Flashback time. Whoop.
Hand clenching.
Now,
what?
You are a bright lad. So, I needn't waste either of our time going over many, many of the philosophical conundrums that I know you have read about on what constitutes a being and remaining the same. Mind, soul, body, which of these components are important? The body replacing itself over the years, the mind developing from moment to moment, the soul being shaped and changed by its experiences. You're aware of all of this, yes?
Yes.
So you mean to tell me that not for a moment you have considered that a being greater than the gods, taking a person and splitting them into two perfect duplicates of each other, is not maintaining and creating the same person in their entirety?
Anyway, the entire thing is, the only thing the dreamer wants out of it is it wants to share in Corvus's experiences. It wanted a connection to Corvus. It wants to understand the world through Corvus. And Corvus, it would really, really be great if you could, put a happier spin on what the dreamer's getting out of the world, please.
Do you realize how much that is just squashing me down every hour of the day?
I don't know what you're worried about. We all go to the dreamer in the end.
Wait, what do you mean going to the dreamer?
I mean, if you think about it, we're just gonna get recycled back into him if the world isn't real, right?
No, what does this have to do with his worry?
Everything will go away, and I will remain until my time to meld back with the dreamer comes to fruition, which I have also changed the rules of that.
We spoke to grandson. He's another manifestation of the dreamer, and he encouraged Corvus that he should appreciate life and the things going on around him, because he knows in the end he will be coming back to the dreamer to share those experiences with the dreamer.
This sounds like many guys' ideas of afterlife.
Yes, and as like we all don't have any control of where we're going. I mean, Corvus, I don't know about you, but I was pretty convinced I was going to hell for like, I don't know, last year, maybe longer. I don't know, but it's one of those things. I'm actually pretty good with some gods right now. I might get to go to a heaven, but if I get to go to heaven, I don't know if I'm going to get to go to heaven with my family, and that's also not good. But also I'm not somebody who would normally go to a heaven, so I don't know how that would work. So I mean, I'm probably going into the Black Death Pit with Cassie. That's probably where I'm going. So I mean,
I don't want.
But that doesn't mean that in the end, if everything's going to end, everything's got this hanging over it, that you focus on the end. You focus on making everything up to the end as good as you can. Because you can't control what happens at that point.
Corvus.
And if you focus on trying to control what happens there, you've missed the point of everything here.
Corvus. Remember when you were a boy? You took one of my medical books, and you decided that it would be a lot easier to understand and correlate the information if the pages were all pinned to the wall.
Vaguely.
That sounds really reasonable.
He actually gives you a sort of dour look at that, Gifton.
She's not the best with books.
Now, when I found that, I was very angry. It was an expensive book. And I told you to go get the Switch, yes? You already had it. You knew the consequences of your actions. And you still took them. Why don't you approach this the same? Live your life for the very moments that you love, and then, if something comes calling for you at the end, you can go kicking and screaming. That's how I am going to face death. I am not looking forward to dying. Not at all. I've done something to try and avert it. But I am not letting the idea of it ruin what I have now. Time with my sons. We're all scared
pretty amazing.
of the end. All of us. But I cannot let it ruin now. And if you need somebody to help face down this dream man, then, well, your father will stand beside you.
The spooky dream man.
I do like that.
Now, I did not raise you to wallow in self-pity, did I?
I think I did most of the raising myself, but no.
Oh, he's getting snappy.
Yes. A familiar behavior.
Sense of humor. This is
Don't
new
get
for
used to it.
You are not too old for me to bend you over my knee, boy. And he says that with a sort of look of, he's not serious. But he's a little serious. There's a bit of fatherly pride that is very wounded there.
I do not know if you had witnessed Spanning.
I know a spring we can dump him in. I can give you a chance at a second upbringing.
Oh, gods.
Yeah, there's that.
Please don't bring that into this.
Mr. Graystill, I don't want to go through that again.
Was he a sullen child? Would he cry a lot?
No, it would not. Worried me sometimes.
Well,
And if
I'm
only
gonna
I could
stand
ask
up,
for baby pictures right now.
Well, now that we've gotten over the uncomfortable nonsense that we were probably worried about talking about, I'm gonna tussle Corvus's hair a bit.
No, we are not done. There's one thing that needs to be said. You are my son. No matter what you think about your own identity, it is my say as a father that matters here.
Corvus softens up. He uncrosses his arms and tugs on his vest a bit.
The appropriate response is, I love you, Dad.
No, it's really not. His father just nods at him as if, like, good lad.
No, that's gifted in character. The appropriate response is, I love you, Dad. Try it. Try it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And Gifton picks up both of them and goes, now hug. Ha.
It is interesting to see caring parents. Not something I'd witnessed in my own life.
Mine are pretty great. I guess you don't get to see them that much, though.
And in that sort,
I was speaking of all of my own.
It's going to take some time for me to not try to figure things out. I appreciate all of you for putting up with all of this. I imagine I'm not the most convenient individual to be around with.
you never were, my boy. It says with a wry smile.
You wouldn't be interesting if you were.
It's a lot, but I would appreciate you being around again. Definitely. Hopefully things can...
Hey, you know what you can do? You can shuffle the duties of being Lord Adderlass off on your dad.
Oh my god, please.
A
Do you
lord.
want to be a lord?
Being a lord has its benefits.
There's a mine in the tracts of land that are just sitting there. Just do something with them. I don't know what to do with it.
Wait, are you serious?
Did you have a mindset?
Oh, they're very serious. They've had a very strange life since you have been gone.
He has left his lands to the wild, which nothing wrong with the wild.
He has been snubbing getting to go to the king and queen's prince's ball because he doesn't want to be a lord of the kingdom.
Your father crosses his arms, Corvus, and just looks at you and goes, "We're going to have to work on your manners when all is said and done."
You do realize that for all my life, I thought nobility was the reason for what had happened.
You have had multiple reasons of why you think everything happened the way it happened. You're like, it was the military, it was the nobility, it's magic users. You've got a list.
I mean, I will be honest, in
He has
Hexenreich,
multiple lists.
many of those things in Hexenreich do go hand in hand.
It is true.
That is very true. But whatever you have to figure out, and I hope you will talk to me if you need help with that, Corvus. No matter what you have to figure out, you will hang on to that one irrefutable fact. Yes? You're my son. That can be whatever kind of rock it is to you.
Chorus stands up and hugs. Hold up.
Wait, you know how to get a hold of magic without somebody being born into magic, right?
As he's sort of hugging Corvus back here.
Corvus giving someone a
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah.
No, this is in character.
Gift that's scratching her head thinking about that, just looking completely bewildered at the Corvus hug going on. This is like a unicorn right now, but it's magic.
Are we sure?
He hasn't
Corvus,
exploded yet.
Corvus, just to you, like, as he's like chin to shoulder with you.
Yeah.
Very softly in your ear, which people can roll to try and perceive if they so wish.
Don't you fucking dare.
He just says to you, and I was going to leave your mother, and you, such a little thing, said you wanted to come with me. That meant everything to me. You being my son has been my rock in life.
Out of curiosity, is he faced away from us or like
Yes.
towards Ralph?
I'm figuring that he might have his head bowed up.
Yeah, I'm
Corvus
gonna
might be
say it's obscured by Corvus.
I'm going by the system that Carrick is still too amazed that there is a hug going on.
I'm gonna say anything 20 and over can hear this. But he's clearly saying it just for Corvus, and as he says it, he sort of releases the hug.
Before he does.
Or he does.
Yeah, sorry, I had a phrase in my head first. That means a lot. Because the rock that you had from me is the one that I gave, and I never had any of it. And I don't fault you for it. I don't. But I am struggling through all of it. Because I'm having to figure how to be someone, not just a thing anymore.
He actually squeezes you a little tighter, Corvus, and he goes, "Until the day you realize you are already somebody wonderful, I will be there to help you. I will always be here now. I'm so sorry, my boy."
And as he releases the hug, a gunshot goes off. Corvus's dad is shot.
5 Corvuses enter the tent. Yeah.
He will say, I do.
I'll take over, she'll pick up. Got him!
I love you too, my boy.
Crack.
Yeah,
right to the guts.
and that's the point where he'll actually sort of repress a sniffle, moving back and patting the side of your arms, like as if straightening you out.
You can't believe all this rain.
Oh,
The terrible day for rain.
shit.
I think it's beautiful. So just to be the person who's going to divert us off onto a less emotional topic, you know how to make people do magic without having access to magic?
Corvus raises his left arm and points at it.
That is, I'm sure you read Conduit to become what I would call an priest, the forcefully tapping into the divine.
For the most part, I suspected that a particular god may just be pulling a very quick one on us all, but
I was not sure if a god would realize it was being tapped into.
I'm concerned that he doesn't, and he's going to find out eventually.
I think by now, if it is one we think it is, he is painfully aware of it.
Perhaps on the trip home we can compare notes.
Well, my reason for bringing this up, sir, is just maybe to draw your mind onto this thought path. We are going to be facing Morgani herself in combat. If she falls, all of magic will go away.
That is a small problem.
And you understand what that would do to the world.
Probably better than most, yes. It would do more than just strip people of magical abilities or some of the technology that utilizes it. There are natural forces in the world that rely on magical ties.
Yes, some of us would cease to be, I think.
It would be cataclysmic.
We are currently trying to work with the people in the city to try and make sure we can make safeguards against what might happen. We don't want to kill Morgani, but the gods have charged us with stop her. And if we can't cure her madness, we have to...
Killing her is the next step.
Yeah. You understand this is why your son is on such an important mission here.
Yes. It's actually... It looks like he's thinking about it. Not like he's shocked or lost by this, but like he's actually like hand on chin. Looks like he's in deep, intense thought.
If you can keep that in your mind as something to think about, it may prove useful to help us. You seem like you were a very prominent researcher on the nature of magic, so...
A wry smile crosses his face and goes, I should have been far more prominent and famed than I am, but secret research does not lend to fame.
Yes, well, important people honestly never have their names out there. Which is why my name's all over the place. I smile over.
I think that's from a different mode of dispersing of an information.
No.
Well, I cannot promise how much help I would be, but if you wish to tie me into matters, I will provide what help I can. Although I'm going to be doing it from the company.
From where your son is, yes. Where your son and your nephew. I'm considering making special requests for you to get access to a long distance radio like we're using, so you can keep in contact.
That would be good for more than one reason. And he looks at you, Corvus, with a sort of smile.
I'm certain that I can BS a reason for the High General to give me access to yet another one. I'm only going to be persona non grata on the continent of Barast, but it'll be fine.
How, not that this is pleasant, but how are we getting back to Barast? Using the tree or teleport?
I've
kind of been a bit spacey of late.
I was gonna offer to use the trees because then we won't be flagging anybody for teleport circle use. But we got to get permission first in town.
You're a druid?
Oh, what?
Yes. Yes, she's a druid.
She does not know what she is. Druid, a practitioner of nature magic.
Yeah, that.
She is something strangely in her own category, but that's the closest analogy to it.
You are a rare breed here.
Easiest thing to call it.
If you didn't want to use yours for that, well, doing other stuff, I still can teleport him someplace.
Well, I don't think my method is probably the most...
He's going to actually slowly raise up his hand. Are any of you wizards? The bookland casters?
No.
Blast.
Wish.
Do you know any of the sigils and stuff for spellcasting for working good into Hexenreich? Because
he's looking at you as if like, what the hell were those combination of words?
The question is yes, Gifted.
If you can tell me the name of the spells that work here on the Hexenreich soil, I can cast it.
I was actually looking to borrow a spell book.
We can get you one in town.
Only have a ritual book.
I would be thankful. I did not have one with me when I awoke, and that is the kind of magic I am reliant on.
Oh.
Jack's actually gonna dig in his bag, pull out the spare enduring spellbook I bought today, and just...
oh, thank you. I very much appreciate it.
I usually use them as notebooks, but it seems to be a more prudent use for us.
Use spellbooks.
They do not go bad, no matter what you do to them.
That is very true. Wait, this is an enduring one.
Shifty eyes.
Well,
Yours is a recipe book.
No,
I
mine. I had a notebook.
I am
on, but
going
that's what's
to
handed on the chest.
unclasp something from my chest because I have a little pin that I wear, and I'm gonna pin it on his outfit and go. You're gonna need to focus on this item, but it will prevent you from succumbing if something were to hurt you bad. It's
no, I cannot take this from you.
No. I have so many things that I cannot focus on them all. And I would feel really good if you were okay.
You have a habit of having many magical items.
Mm-hmm. And I have like a big box of these on the airship, so it'll be fine.
And I am in your debt, Lady Graysteel.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, there's that. We have some spare scrolls.
I should ask, do you prefer Lady or General?
I usually go by Gifton. I'll be honest. I only got to be General because the king kind of eeny meeny miny mode, and I was the last kid picked. So apparently everybody else took a step back.
He raises his eyebrow when he says that, and I looks to all of you and goes, "Who is the current king of Barast?"
Couldn't tell you.
Hababa.
I have that. Oh my god.
The answer's Farron. Farron Merrimore.
Keurig would know, but player didn't remember.
Yeah, I have it.
At the time that you were assigned this, we had a person from Naran with us. We had me as a non-Grota from Hexenreich, 2 people already in the military, and Carrick.
He has a very handsome young son named Drace.
Yeah,
so it is Farron Merrimore still.
Yes.
I highly doubt that you were eeny, meeny, miny, mo choosing.
I'm kind of out of the running.
You do realize that
it was very calculated.
Farron's father had Farron within the intelligence circuit.
Ah. Huh. Well, he did it very nonchalantly of, okay, which one of you? And then just pointed. And
Probably
then after that...
Probably because he made the decision long before he stepped through the doors.
No. That's awful.
Most likely, yes.
He was playing you, Gifton, that's all.
Yeah, there's a little nod from out. I was like, likely.
I wonder if he knows about me then, and the other side.
I would not be surprised.
It would be a definite not making a general.
He did not try to kill you, so it is on the up and up.
I was just giving that sort of look of I'm missing something here, but does not press.
I honestly thought Telday would have been the more reasonable choice since he's actually already in the military.
That's probably the better reason not
Do
to.
the two of you often come to the same course of action decision-wise?
No.
There was one time where we evidently had quite a disagreement.
Then I imagine that might be somewhat awaiting. Also, you are already departed the military, yes? He looks at you, Telday.
That is correct.
Yes.
Sorry, I was taking a drink at that exact moment.
Your Barasian citizenry.
That is technically true.
And yourself?
Probably. I believe it still lasts that long.
He sort of looks at you, Gustin. Barasian citizen, but a bit more.
My citizenship's complicated.
Then
I like to think of myself as a Baratheon.
I think the answer is looking for is yes.
Then, what is the current situation with the Fae in your land, Barast?
Due to General Gifton's efforts, it is much more stable.
I think we are perhaps establishing the answers then.
Nodding, whether or not she's actually seeing
your
me.
father is, Corvus. This upsets me. Let's get him out of here.
I thought you really liked
Again, like your mother.
I liked him when he was yelling at you.
Wait, are you hitting on her then?
No, she's a bit young for me.
I will say he's a very dashing. What? Corvus, you're attractive. Look how tall you are.
Yes, you have a thing for tall people. We know
Yes,
this.
that's extremely attractive.
I don't know how to respond to this.
What?
Thank you.
Yes, that's how you respond to it. That's good.
Is he supposed to be that shade of red?
Oh.
Come, leave my boy alone. And he's going to dress an arm over your shoulder and go, help me with my bag, yes?
There's a heavy bag.
Yes.
Good boy.
Actually, we should have Hadwin carry it. He's a lot more stronger than I.
You aren't bringing Hadwin into this refugee camp. They are.
I'm not bringing Hadwin into the refugee camp. That I know that much at least.
Okay.
So how would he be carrying it?
So, are you gonna bring
with two hands?
Are you gonna bring Hadwin into Faramir? Because I want to see that one happen too.
You want to see that happen?
No, I don't. That's
Okay.
bad. That was a joke.
They tease you a lot, don't they?
Yes, they do. Because I'm an easy tease.
He has a construct made of dead bodies that he calls Hadwin.
Oh, you have to show me.
Yeah,
He claims it is not sentient.
Yes,
It's at my house.
I'm pretty certain.
At my house.
Oh, Hadwin's. I thought he was on the airship.
He's on the airship.
Hopefully, he's not digging holes in the the steel again.
We're really worried about how Hadwin would be received in the city of Faramir. Might be in poor taste.
It could be a little complicated, yes. They have some distaste for things made of, well, you notice they use stone a lot. It's one of the few things they could agree on that does not constitute life. Do not talk to them about elementals, I tell you.
That a talk your ear off sort of situation, or angry?
That will cause some debates that you will not hear the end of, and I mean that quite literally because they can debate for quite some time.
And they don't need to breathe, so they can keep talking.
Time in Emporium.
Well, I need to go talk to this Kevin Costner guy.
Before you do that, I think I should make you aware of, and I was intending on doing this last night, but did not, of what exactly the reason why I have a disdain for him and why I say to be wary of him.
Yes?
You were quite tense.
28 years ago, there was a city. I'm sure if I say name Stuttgart, Atlas will recall that city, that town on the border.
There's a little nod.
It was one that they had eyed for expansion in that direction, and they claimed there were rebels in it.
I'm putting this back down.
The captain and my group were charged with scouting it and eliminating threats. We scouted and did what we could, and then the order came down to eliminate the city, to eliminate the town. Everyone. And so in the dead of night, we burned it down to the ground. Man, woman, and child. Nobody survived. I'm not proud of those actions, but they're the ones we took.
I see. General, I may need to resign my commission.
What?
I feel that there may be something that would be best denied by the military of Barast.
Ah.
What?
I see what you got.
I think that they also has thoughts of murdering that man, or me, one of the two.
Nod.
I'm honestly...
I've not been proud of these actions, and I have spent much of my life attempting to make amends of it. I'll be honest, I thought the captain had died by now and had been willing to leave it at that. I do not trust that man or anything that he is capable of. He is the worrying kind of loyal to the country, loyal to the ideal, to the beholdings that we had, rather than what we could be.
Country of the people.
The country itself, or the people within it.
Would it be something that he would put the people here in danger of?
I'm gonna hold a hand up. So before you get into the thoughts of causing harm to this man, which mind you, I agree, horrible things and definitely punished, yes, but in the current situation, if anything happens to him, either by our hands, by the hands of the Vermirians, or just some random person here. This is a group of very paranoid refugees barely holding on by a thread. He is the only little beacon for those crazed little military group to be following behind. If I can keep him reasonable and working with us, I need to keep him alive, because otherwise it destabilizes him further. And I hold up a book on leadership that I've
Actually, yes, there's a reason why, after you brought my mind back to being in a calmer state, why I did not shoot him dead at my first opportunity.
I will make sure that anything that his group gets is enough for what they need to do. I'm already concerned about what any actions they would take. Luckily for us, they don't have any major mages, or I would be a much more concerned person for spending any amount of time near them.
And if I might say, him and his men have been lending quite a bit of aid here. You'll find there is quite some love and loyalty for them.
Yes, I mean, as much as I would want to do that, what we feel or what we know about the past right now has to be put aside for the betterment of the people we're trying to keep alive and the future we're trying to get. And that's...
And there's always that people do change. He may have changed for the better now, so we should...
Given the current situation of where Hexenreich is.
But
Aldo is slowly shaking his head. He's not saying anything, he's just shaking his head.
Yeah, Chaco, from the demeanor that I had witnessed of him yesterday, I have doubts.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm keeping
but...
the heritage kind of secret, but I'm worried that might stab me in the buttocks if I don't nip it in the bud anyway.
It is good to know, because that way we know what to keep an eye out for also.
I lean over to Aldo. Yeah, I'm totally fake. But...
I stress, I do not stress not to talk to him. I stress...
I will not take him to my breast, as it were, and give him access to our secrets. I thought that was very clear when we had our conversation, and he isn't willing to face what's actually going on, and he wants to believe that there are outside forces only attacking and manipulating Hexenreich. He is not in a reasonable mindset that I can trust him to be on our side, knowing everything. The people of Faramir we can trust.
If I might add a little more based on my own observations, I have tried to keep some distance for obvious reasons. But I believe him and most of the men under him, for those are a lot of his own men, some other tag-alongs and survivors, but his core is there. They more faith in Hexenreich than Morgani, dangerously so, if you understand what I am saying.
They're ultra-nationalists.
Yes, nationalist, that is the right word.
Yeah, sorry, just pure nationalists.
I did use your name when addressing him as a precautionary to that.
He nods.
Other
assumed name.
Your assumed last name.
I think.
You're my cousin or something.
Yeah, cousins.
Oh yes, he sort of gestures as if forgetting his own face.
Yes. But I need to put on a good face, because Carrick, you can probably get away with showing your heritage a bit, but the moment I drop mine, no one here is going to deal with us.
I don't think it is a good idea for me to show mine with the current error
dragon issue.
Which is unfortunate, because we need to get them used to the fact that they can trust the Vermirians.
Yes.
Vermins, whatever.
I I might also say this. As much as we should approach them with caution, you, I do not know why I'm including myself in this, I'm leaving. He says as if like trying to remind himself. There is also a danger in giving those kind of men an inch.
They will want to take far more.
Give them an inch and they will take a mile.
Or let them cement that position. They will use it as a step for another and another.
The things that they want, though, right now, they should have. Because it's what anyone would need in this situation. It's not too much to ask right now.
But perhaps counsel the idea that if things go sour with them, be prepared to arrange things so that they do not sour with the other civilians.
That's what I'm thinking is we need to get good graces with everyone here, and we're making a good show to everyone. I'm helping here yesterday. I'm sorry, is a bit of a political move, but also something we would actually do. But it's good for people to see us coming in and helping. Us coming in, bringing food and supplies. These things are important. That's why I want to get the people from Furamir out here helping to do these things, because they need to be desensitized.
He bites his thumbnail a little bit, sort of a little nervous chew. And when he says, and as he opens his mouth to speak, he actually looks at Corvus, and there's that look of like, he looks a little shameful. They deal
with me. Go ahead.
I'm sure you've turned out better than me, boy. I might counsel that you prepare to disgrace Kostner.
Oh, I would have done that on the first moment I could. So,
if there is an alternative, it does seem reasonable.
Unfortunately, I have no advice on how to do so, but if it were my project and I saw it souring, or the possibility of it souring, I would make sure it turned out the best for me. So, I am not a leader.
I can tell you as well, for how we were handled after the fact of everything that happened, he made sure as little was attributed to him as possible, despite our insistence.
Well, we should get going on that. Corvus, are you going to take your father? Or are you coming with Costner?
If you want to go take care of this, I can wait until you are returning.
I would. I'll be honest. I'm getting paranoid. Things you don't know, sir. There's been attempts. I look over at the group.
Someone sent shadow creatures after us the other night.
Somebody made an assassination attempt on our group the other night, and I'm worried that if you're sitting here by yourself,
people together would be in the best options.
Keeping you with us would be better, or taking you to be under the guards that are protecting us might be better, or even on our airship.
Far be it from me to argue against such sound advice. Corvus, you'll grab my bag.
Unless you want to stay here and then I pick a guess, would you guard Corvus's dad?
What?
What? I'm looking at these things.
Oh, Dingus.
I think that's the part he
Dingle will tilt his head back like a couple of times, that central rotation tilting. And then he looks at Corvus's father and just smeeps at you. Not dead.
Yeah, but that's Corvus's dad.
Not dead.
All right, would you protect this man for me?
He bobs his head up and down.
Okay. All right, so if you want to stay here,
Too young.
I trust that you would be completely safe.
Too young, not grey.
You're not okay. All right, Dingus will protect you. You can stay here.
He's just got a really good moisturizer regimen.
He's looking at that Dingus. And
he killed a shadow dragon all by himself.
He will
Don't underestimate him.
Well, if you say so.
Hey, not many people get to have a Feylord protect them for a little bit.
Indeed.
Actually,
Yeah, actually, he is.
Yeah, he is actually a Feylord.
He's going to put his hands up and goes, I do not need clarification.
Actually, I have a question for you, sir, before we head out.
Please.
Since you have been here helping these people, and Gifton had mentioned it, what have you kind of gotten from them of their views on Dragonkind currently?
With everyone here?
Yes, and
of course it is mixed. Some are convinced by the soldier's rhetoric that this is something that is being inflicted on dragons, that their nobility is being tarnished, and that it is not the dragon's fault. Others are fearful of them, see this as just a inevitable madness. Everyone is familiar with tales of past draconic conflicts, of power hungriness. We still see it to this very day with wealth hoarding, yes?
Because I have been hiding my own draconic side just to not scare those here.
I wish I could say, but some might be heartened by seeing someone with draconic heritage seemingly untouched, but it could also cause distress.
I think at least for today it may be prudent to keep it hidden, and I will try to keep my ear to what I can hear from rumblings around and see if anything I can find.
If I were in your shoes, I would keep it hidden for the time being, yes.
That's what I thought was probably the best. Thank you, sir.
Well, you be safe. Lord Dingus of the Bridge, I promise you a dozen Scotch eggs upon our return to Barast. If you keep this man safe.
Excited meeping. He's going to flutter on over to Aldo and sort of light on his shoulder. Aldo just reaches up and gives Dingus some little rubs under his chin. Right smile. I had one of these as a boy.
Curvis has one too.
Gifton, did I just get volunteered to cook a dozen Scotch eggs?
You did.
I was going to say that it's going to be really awkward if we arrive at Barast via airship, because then you're going to have to prepare them that way.
Yep.
I'm just going to reach up and pet Merrick's head. I will make some for you too.
Okay, Corvus, I expect to see you soon. You're going to go take me to see my grandson?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
You be safe, boy.
We'll be back in a short time.
He's gonna, pat the side of your arm and go, okay, look after your friends.
He's the one who gets me out safe.
And then you show me your Hadwin when you're back.
Right. Why am I still carrying this big...
Leave my bag behind, Corvus.
The bag is there.
Your dad's amazing. I say that right in front of his dad as we start.
Father seems a little chuffed. It's like, yeah, he still likes to hear good things about himself.
Yep.
But yes, you can all start heading towards the military encampment.
Yep.
I
think that was the right move. I'm just a little sensitive about things right now,
It is fair.
But now I don't have Dingus protecting me. Wibble.
Did you actually say Wibble?
Yeah.
I think at the bottom
Also,
I think
Purvis,
it is.
I'm meaning to ask you something, and I'm just gonna suddenly grab your hand and then guide it over to touch my stomach. Do you think my pregnancy's going okay? Because I feel like I should be showing more right now.
This
This is like 3 months.
This first off, just
I was
doing
a
this right.
balloon at 3 months last time.
You had 12 last
Yeah.
time.
But my pregnancies only last 4 months.
Perhaps you are going to have to be
have
pregnant longer
twins.
than normal.
That's a possibility as well, and it's also the
Twins.
fact that it's also the fact that these aren't like they're a god spark. It's not. It's a nebulous concept. It's not like.
It's just like, Kylie Honeyfoot, when she had her kids, she barely showed until the end, and then they were sickly. And I don't want my
This
babies
may not be something we want to discuss out in the open where many
Exactly.
people may overhear
that
us.
Too. Can we do this in a more private situation where it's actually...
I'm still holding your hand to my stomach.
Gifton, did you wish to openly discuss your heritage?
Because
you are.
An older Hexenreich woman who's just carrying a pail of water, looks at Corvus touching Gifton's belly, smiles at the couple, says something in Hexenreich that is, how sweet, continues walking by.
Nod, slight wave.
If it matters.
Yeah, Corvus, you have no fucking clue what is supposed to be happening here.
Exactly.
Oh.
Can we... Gifton, no. Seriously. Let's discuss.
This is important to me.
Gifton. This is a serious topic that doesn't need to have brevity right now. And we will discuss these potentials at a later time in a more secluded area.
I need to know creepy eyes.
General, if it will be possible to have your doctor's appointments in privacy, that would be preferable. For maintaining your
pregnant. This
decorum.
Is normal. We shouldn't shame it.
Also,
it is not shaming.
Do the eyes do anything, or is it just Gifton?
You don't see shit other than usual.
I see things at least.
I am a golden
It's just the
glowing
Gifton
light.
sun in front of me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for him, it's just a lighter gray glowing light.
It's a lighter gray all
I like
around.
to think Corvus should have a disadvantage inciting me because he can't see my face anymore. It's just light.
No, this is not how transcendent vision works, I'm afraid. So,
He should have disadvantage inciting Gifton because Gifton's a fucking enigma.
You'll talk to me about this later, though, right? Because I'm getting kind of worried.
Yes. Let's at a, like Telde said, in a more reasonable area, not in the middle of a refugee
to the
camp.
airship.
Okay.
Distant worries meepings.
This is what happens when you separate Gifton and Dingus.
Even though it's how to function without the other.
Apart.
So what's the range on telepathy of them?
100.
60 feet.
Oh.
Or something like that. It might be 100.
120, I thought.
Yeah, it might be 120.
So, General, what was it that you wished to discuss with the captain?
I'm getting their requests and letting them know about the fact that they are getting ammunition.
Gonna start trying to walk that direction. Just kind of.
Yeah, I assume that you guys are heading that way.
Yes.
I'm waiting.
Tell me when you're done with your group discussion, so I know when to sing skip.
I'm done with group discussion. I'm fine.
You are not doing the stonework today. That is correct.
I will knock out the stonework today if we get approval on the paperwork.
Okay. I unfortunately
That's
did not
coming
prepare
from
for that,
me.
so I cannot assist with that today.
Vermirian's council.
Well, first we have to get from the Hexenreichers the
What
plan
their
of what they
designs
want,
are. Right.
and then I have to go to Melinda and get her approval, and then she's gonna have somebody come out with me and watch what I put down.
If that is not,
I can start the base of it today, Carrick, and then you can join in helping tomorrow. Okay.
I was to say if it extends till tomorrow, I can.
I will not be done today. I'm assuming it will be a lot of work.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna dig today, and then I'll build stone tomorrow.
Okay. Right. So the group of you, after a little while, arrives at the military encampment.
Guten Tag.
One of the soldiers nods in greeting at you. and just
I'm gonna hold up a book, and I've got my book on how to speak Hexenreich, and I am going to say, "Good day to you, kind sir. May we please enter in Hexenreich?" But I'm doing that whole look at the book, look up, look at the book, look up.
This is like the super formal. Way of saying
you are received with a Guten Tagen 9, and then the soldier sort of turns and just yells into the camp for somebody to alert the captain, the general, rather. And
I'm flipping pages to figure out what he said, and then I'm going to respond with, "Thank you very much. You are most kind."
He just nods at you like he didn't mean to be rude about saying you can't come into the camp, but it was no.
Yes, but I actually have the comprehend language thing on. But I'm basically just using this to help me find the words to say. I know the language now, but I'm playing up the book.
Hang on. So you got comprehended language on, right? Does it let you read language?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, so you're actually having trouble with this because you're finding that hello is above the word hello.
Oh.
Luckily, I know the language. But I'm just looking through the biggest guide.
Well, the good thing is that Hexenreich hello is hello.
It's tiny in English to you.
Barastian,
yes.
English does not exist in this world.
I'm gonna very quietly take my circlet off and put that away, or the other off and go. No, I'm not using that right now because it's messing me up.
Okay. The soldier yells into the camp, and soon enough, General Costner actually does start walking over, and he greets you all with a very sort of hearty wave, in hello.
Yeah,
and
I gave him a hearty wave.
In hello.
Yeah. You have good news for me.
I have spoken with their seat of defense, Melinda. She is giving us permission for Barras to send through ammunition that we can distribute. And also, they are willing to receive the information for what you want built. They are very willing to help set up stuff out here. And so I'll go ahead.
But that pleases me greatly to hear. I'm very glad that we can rely on Barras in this time. That will not be forgotten, of course.
Mm-hmm. We do have to acquiesce in that she does want to have a one of theirs supervise my casting. They are, of course, distrustful of foreign.
Course. They must know the layout of our defenses. Yes.
Of course. Of course. And they are not very trustful of my nature magic, and they would prefer to know what I am up to.
Well, they should be pleased to have such a thing. Nature magic is quite a rarity. I would like to be able to watch myself if you would permit it.
Of course, I was going to say. I think in the best circumstance, we should have representatives from each group there to be sure. Also, I have additional requests I'm going to offer to her. I am capable with my nature magic to produce an effect that makes a very opaque fog that cannot be seen through. But those that I designate will not see the fog at all.
A wide grin goes across his face. I'm quite familiar with the spell work.
And also a wind wall that can make artillery and such veer off course.
You must have been a specialist, no?
No, actually, I wasn't accepted into the military.
Oh, really? You would have been a grand force multiplier in any unit.
Oh, thank you, sir. Nature magic isn't always trusted in most places for the military.
Yeah, he just shakes his hand as he's grabbing what looks like to be a couple of stacked boxes from an aide that's with him. And he's shaking his head and going, no, it is a grand utility and one I wish was far more common. Here, these are plans that we have drawn up. We have taken into account the Fomerian wariness.
Yes, of course. And I will go and submit that with them, and we can get everything going underway, and we will hopefully be bringing you a shipment of ammunition soon.
Marvelous. Now, these are labeled in order. The A section is the priority, what we would very much like to do, and we have in the preceding alphabet plans to give ground. Try and get
Makes
them
sense.
to go as
To
close to A as they can.
Yes, to spread out a bit to keep it back away from the core,
Yes.
as it were.
Yes.
Yeah, I would expect that. I would expect we'd want to do as much as we can to keep them away from the heart where the refugees will likely be hiding.
Yes. As for the refugees, so the smaller box, and he pats it on top. It is various contingencies for what we could do with the refugees. I am wary of seeing them enter the city, but I am not such a fool as to know that if things are dire,
that it may be the only hope.
Yes. However,
and it would be better to see your people survive.
Yes, it would. We cannot have Hexenreich without its people.
That.
Corvus, he seems earnest in what he's saying. You cannot have Hexenreich without its people, and he wants them to survive. But you do think it's less in the interest of, like, hey, they all must survive. And it's not entirely in a cruel way, but there is the definite thing of, this is the heart of the nation. This is what's left. It must survive. Like, the idea of the whole is greater than any individual.
The individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have a plan for underground. I'm sure you can carve out below.
I am quite prepared. If we can get approval, I can start digging today. I gave you the information. I can do everything that I did every day. So if they give me time, I can spend the time doing that. It will exhaust me quite a bit to do it, but I will give you everything that I have.
I have very few full-fledged mages on hand, mostly Goemagir without gear, he says with a little annoyance. But those that are able shall lend their hand, if you will permit it. And there are plans for those that refuse to enter the city. I was thinking underground strongholds, bunkers that they can hide away in shelter.
I think it would be wise. I'm looking through the things to see if this was like, I had an idea of doing multiple small bunkers.
Yes.
To separate them out, so that way no one hole would be lost.
He nods emphatically at that and goes, I would also like to request escape tunnels within the city, if possible. But
we will see what we can do with that. Melinda offered that if you wished, you could assign one of your people to the city to be a liaison between their defense and you, and she could send one of hers out, so that way you can coordinate on a more rapid way.
There's a momentary amused look on his face, as if he's pondering that, but it's clear he assumes that is something else.
I assume that you would presume that would be her attempt to spy on you, but I will say it was my idea. I broached it to her.
If we are being blunt, General, it would be my idea in turn. So I think it is an acceptable risk.
I think that at least for the time being, with such a massive force coming, it'd be better if we were coordinated in defenses together. I will also ask soon my forces hopefully will be arriving. I've requested that they be delivered here. I will assign one of my men to be a liaison between you and me as I am moving my things around.
And certainly, I will find one of my men that speaks Brassian well.
And I will try to find one who speaks Hexenreich well. Though I do know you have a fondness for Shaxon, but I do need his expertise.
Yeah.
We have many little bits of technology that we are hoping to put into play.
I understand. You need your great mind at hand.
I do need my great mind at hand, but I'm hoping that he will do everything he can to make sure that these things are levied to protect your people out here.
Well, you keep him safe. We will need all of the great minds we can to rebuild after this is done. He says, looking at you with a firm nod, Jackson.
Jax will give a nod back.
I hope
Out of character, we did get Hef Day, right?
Oh yeah,
That
we know.
was-
Yeah.
Have Day and the
Okay.
Warforged are coming.
Okay.
But I think that's everything. Like I said, we're gonna have food and supplies are regularly coming out. I'll make sure some comes out for your encampment to help hand out. We're handing out.
General Greysteel, are you available right now? If so, please return to the city post haste. We have somebody that wishes to talk to you. Morris from the Feywilds. It's a message that appears in your head as you're speaking to Costner.
Oh. No.
And this is from Fowler.
I am actually being requested back to the city by Valda at this moment, so it seems like I must head back. She is their seat of the arcane. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the inner workings of Firmir, but I'm getting a crash course.
I would appreciate anything you can tell us after you're done.
Yes, I can tell you that there are like how many seats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seats of leave the council, huh?
I think if they're summoning, it's best we hurry.
Yes, of course, you must keep up appearances here. And he's going to hold out the boxes for... yeah, he's going to be presumptuous. He holds them out to Cassie.
Okay, that's fine. I am...
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were at the airship earlier. Is it okay for me to presume I could have grabbed some things while I was there?
Yeah, I'd allow it. You were preparing to come out here.
Yeah, I was preparing to come out here. I had 10 of those little doohickeys that prevent you from dying, paragraphic wound closures. I'm going to hand him a small box of those.
He'll take the box, sort of opening it up and giving you a quizzical look.
Periaps of wound closure, are you familiar with them? They will stabilize the dying.
Oh, I do not have anything to give you in return.
Oh, no, this is fine. I want you to make sure that maybe you put these on your frontline men. That way we can have better chance of getting them back up and going.
He starts to nod, and there is a genuine look of respect on his face. And he sort of reaches out and just like clasps the side of his shoulder in a very sort of macho fashion.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank you.
I had brought them on the airship for use, and I don't think that they'll be needing that. We are going to try and find a better position for the airship, because maybe that will also be used as an escape route if we need to load people up. I don't know, though, if their air superiority Gifton makes a face. I'm worried that my little ship will not survive.
Yes. Best used as an escape vessel if need be. But
what do your Gurmajir need?
I'm afraid we have barely operational flights.
Armor.
Armor is always useful, but it is the flight mechanisms that we need.
Yes, I need Ziski and the computational gem.
Yes, the computational gems that were in hand, all cracked. The gear itself, we probably have 2 working thrusters between them, but without the gem, next to useless. If you could see about supplying us with those, I have 5 Gurmajir.
You have 4?
5.
5? I will make requests and see what I can get going. I do know we have a couple sets of armor that we made our airship people wear it, and I think I had handed a couple extra out because we came across some. So we'll see what we can do. But yeah, getting your Gurmajir up and running would be nice. If we get these plans out, I will also need to coordinate with you and the Firmirians of where would be a good place. Maybe we can do the fog and the wind. Yeah.
He looks down at the box you've given him before looking back up at you and going, would you permit one of my men to deliver something to your airship?
Of course. They're quite welcome.
In that case, I will have our force composition sent to you so that we can better plan together. I hope you understand that this is between us.
Of course. I frown a bit. I'm not a military lady, sir, so I'm not sure how much I can do with that. I can give you as much as I can, aid wise of my own people. I'll be bringing things on. I'll look over at Tilde. I trust my second here though. He has a much keener mind than mine.
In that case, I hope you can assist us. He nods at you, Tilde.
You were talking in Brassian.
Yes, this is all Brassian.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Just making sure. I will nod.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we best get going. I'm going to reply to Valda now. Okay. Sorry, was in the middle of talking to General Costner. I'm heading back now.
Yeah.
Can my brain just died. No, cut that part out. That's not part of it. Can Luther meet Corvus's father? And I'll head.
Okay.
Because we need to.
You send that off. Meanwhile, Costner is actually looking to the guards and his aide and goes, make sure it's known they are allowed to enter the camp at any time to come see me. We need not stand with these formalities.
I don't mind the formalities. It's fine.
Would it be prudent for a couple of us to help start collecting the information while the rest go?
What information?
About what they want.
They did.
It will.
I have it all on papers.
Yeah. And the extra stuff like force composition here will just. It will take me some time to write it up. I must double check things myself. So I will have a man come over to your ship.
I'll go get my cousin and Dingus.
Yeah,
go at the gate.
Meet us at the gate. That'll be good. Yep, and we will get everything as we can underway.
General Costner gives you that sort of, the farewell nod, like acknowledging that we're sort of parting ways.
I'm going to try to give him a Hexenreich salute.
He will actually return it. Let General salute. And
then I will hold up in one hand my Veracian to Hexenreich dictionary. I'm trying to learn.
You are speaking it very well.
Yeah. All right, if we can head off.
And he'll nod as you go, watching you go for a moment for telling on heel and pretending to his duties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As we get away, Cass is going to sally up to Gifton.
Mm-hmm.
I do apologize about interrupting that, but he was digging for information.
Of course he is. They all are.
Yeah. No, I think he's planning something. So
yeah, he might be.
Luther's going to meet you at the gates. Your father, Corvus's father, is permitted into the city, of course, under Luther's approval.
Excellent. Beating feet there. In the end,
he assumed that I am your servant.
What?
He assumes anything that is not a Hexenreich person is someone's servant.
Yeah.
Oh, because he handed you the big heavy things and I'm such a small, scrawny thing.
No. Instead of handing it to your known second, which I think would be normal.
Well,
he went and looked for the centaur, which is...
He didn't know that Tilde was my second until I said it after he'd already handed it to you.
He's the only one you've referred to by a rank.
Oh, I did that in town. I didn't know I did it out here. Did I do that out here? Corporal Tilde, can you tell me about what rank I've been telling you in front of the Hexenreichers as?
And Gifton, I think Tilde is a lieutenant.
Oh. Tilde, are you a lieutenant?
I am whichever rank you wish me to be. It does not matter.
All right, well...
realizing that this is all pointless.
Okay.
Also, there are two people in the military here.
Yeah.
I don't care what rank I am with the one other person who outranks me.
No, but it's for...
Assistant General Tilde. Assistant General Tilde, I'm sure that's a rank.
I don't think Corvus has ever actually discharged, so...
No?
Yeah, he was.
I was.
Yeah.
I was disavowed of my medical license.
Yeah.
Yes, she is a doctor that's not allowed to doctor, but still does.
Yes.
And we encourage
Screw their law.
through the
All right.
line until they get it.
Do we get there?
Yes, you reach the gates, and Luther.
And then read up.
Yeah, you pick your father up on the way, Corvus, and carry his large medical bag for him.
And Dingus.
Yeah, Dingus
I'm
is
not carrying Dingus. Dingus can fly.
Dingus flutters back over to you, Gifton, and it's like, kept him safe. Eggs.
On my shoulder.
Yep, eggs when we get to
Meat
Barat.
eggs.
Yes, meat eggs for you. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over and give Luther a hug.
And Luther just gently pats you on the back with one arm, and sort of gives you all an acknowledging nod, which is the helmeted thing bobbing a bit. Yeah. And then his eyes drift over to Aldo, and he seems to praise him for a moment for going, "Old man in a young body."
Yep.
Oh, insightful.
He's kind of great.
And Luther's actually watching him for a few moments. Aura reads a little.
Luther turns to the turn.
What was that?
Sorry.
This is a Batman turn.
Luther turns to the Batman turn.
No, he's actually got a well-built costume.
Nice.
And Luther's just going to say, "Your aura reads a little peculiar."
He is recovering from being hit with feeble mind.
Do you have any ill intentions towards our city? No, none at all. That reads true at the very least.
He just wants to go see his grandson.
I do, desperately. I want to go home. This is not home anymore. All right then. And Luther's just going to sort of step aside and sort of give a polite little motion to the doorway to you all.
Been gone. I've missed you.
Oh, touching. It has not been long.
It's been forever.
I'm sure it has.
She's very bad with time.
It feels like it's been weeks or something.
Hey, among my people, if you're gone for a day, we assume you're dead. We have a funeral.
Is it even a day?
I'm actually really concerned. I haven't talked to my kids in like a week, it feels like, and I'm not sure they've moved on.
May I ask, am I arranging quarters for your father, or is he just passing through?
He'll be passing through to the teleport to Brass.
Yeah.
Shall I alert the teleport circle then?
We were going to request. Does it have to be the teleport circle, or can we use a tree? Because he's going to be going up to Dulwood, where his son and grandson are.
I see. Well, perhaps if you're going to use the tree, which I will permit, I am sure that you'll find no objections. You might want to tell Fowler, though. I'm sure she'd be interested to watch.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go see Valda anyway.
And
I'm gonna start telling Corvus's dad the little bits of information I remember from Wilhelm's tour on the way in.
Ah, lovely. Okay, Aldo listens, and Aldo is looking around with fascination, like he's taking a genuine interest here. Does not seem to be like any revulsion and such about the people. Even sort of returns polite nods and such of those that pass by. You can overhear your friendly guards chattering away to Luther, telling them about pulling a piano from the streets, which Luther's just chuckling softly.
Hi, spotters! They helped us pull the piano through. They told us when we were pushing it bad.
Luther is amused, just in his usual reserved way. But soon enough, you arrive at the council chambers, where Luther basically took you want to see Valda to heart and just led you straight there. And he's
oh fuck! Did we get Echo? Tell me we got Echo.
Do you want to have got an Echo?
Yeah, we'll get Echo.
Okay.
Yeah, Echo's
Well, we went back to the airship to get her.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you did get Echo, and Echo was given some perplexed looks by Luther, and was asked much the same questions, which Echo answered truthfully. She doesn't intend any harm towards the city or such.
But young and incredibly old soul at the same time, and it's weird.
Yeah, he's getting this group reads weird to begin with, and it's just getting weirder. And Echo is just sort of barely paying attention to anything that's been said. Doesn't care about it at all. Is just gazing mostly at people as you walk along. Like, unsettlingly so. You see a couple of skeletons shy away a bit under her gaze. But soon enough, you're at the council chambers where you're all let in. And Luther just sort of motions through the council seating to Echo and Aldo, as if like, please feel free to sit. Despite these being chairs of import. Which Aldo will thankfully take a seat, whereas Echo just continues to sort of gaze around idly. And goes, if you'd wait a moment, I'll go fetch Fowler.
All right.
And
really?
he marches off directly towards her office, where you can actually like hear the distant knock on the door, some faint mumbling, before Luther and Fowler return. Wilhelm is already in here, of course. Thankfully, the radio seems to be inactive at the moment, but he's just reading over some notes that he seems to have jotted down.
Sneak over to Wilhelm, and I'm gonna turn the knob on the radio and pick up the thing from him.
His head slowly tilts to regard you.
Are anyone there?
What channel is this?
I turned it to my family radio.
There's
Family radio.
There's a few moments of silence before you hear the now quite familiar cries of Radio Mummy. At which point Wilhelm looks away because he realizes you're not making him talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
A skeleton could show exhaustion. Wilhelm is.
And
yeah, I'm stealing a moment of I love my kids, I love my kids, I love my kids before they come back.
Wilhelm tired of discussing things with people? Wow.
That's a first.
Listen, there are some very boring people on the other side of that radio.
My God, Ben Stein is breathtaking.
It's when as Fowler and Luther are returning, Luther is like leaned in towards Fowler, seemingly sort of hushedly talking to her and gesturing towards Echo as they return. Before sort of straightening up, giving you all a nod and goes, well, if there's nothing else I'm needed for.
Hi, Luther.
I'm sorry. I will try to arrange some time to spend together later.
I know you're busy.
Aren't we all? And he'll give a sort of polite bow to you all before heading back outside.
Okay, kids, I have to give the radio back to the other guy. Goodbye. I put the radio back to the right side.
As you're sort of turning the knob, you hear your children starting to go, "Hi, other guy." Wilhelm just goes, "Cute."
Now Wilhelm knows what channel that is. That's the important thing.
He was looking really intently at that. I'm going to talk to those people.
Hello, tiny children. Uncle Wilhelm to tell you stories of the world.
Fowler's giving you all a friendly nod, but she's walking directly over to Aldo and just reaching her hand out and goes, "Aldo Adalas, yes?" And Aldo's going to stand up and take her hand. There's that sort of momentary, like, oh, this is weird, of the skeletal shake.
Bony hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, he shakes it politely and goes, yes, Chairman Fowler? Councilwoman. Councilwoman Fowler. A pleasure. Thank you for your kind invitation into your city. It's no problem at all. It's the least we can do to see you safely home. I'm sure it will put some minds at ease. And she looks over at you, Corvus, friendly smile as the skeleton does.
He will nod and soft smile. Thank you for this.
If you're not in a hurry, you are welcome to enjoy the sights of our city. the sooner I'm there, the better. Although I do thank you for your offers of hospitality. I understand. In that case,
maybe in the future there can be a visit arranged.
Yeah, Fowler actually nods at that and goes, "Indeed, it would be a pleasure." In that case, I am told by Lufa that you're going to be doing some nature-based travel magic.
Yes, I was going to use a tree to send him home, if that would be permissible, because then I could send him right to Dolvewood and not disturb any of the Baratheon circles.
She's actually going to hold up what looks like to be a rather complicated apparatus of lenses and clearly attached to like some crystal machination computer. And she just goes, "If you would not mind me serving."
Okay.
Oh, marvelous! It's a rare thing to
That's
witness.
a very interesting device.
Well,
I do it all the
I'm
time.
happy to explain how it works and such if you want to help observe.
Oh, I'd be delighted to know.
And she goes, "Do you require trees of a certain size?"
At least largish.
She gives you that look of like, this is not actually a very good size description of a tree.
Actually,
I can actually do bushes.
People who are...
Any plant life about 10 feet tall-ish, and a good amount of volume.
One of the local gardens shall do then.
Yep.
Right, then, and this is she sort of gestures over to Echo.
Echo.
She is Echo.
This is Echo.
My friend that we discussed.
Hello. Echo sort of waves at Fowler, and Fowler gives a sort of like little wave back as if just mimicking the motion, and goes, "She's welcome to stay in the chambers if you so wish, but you can come along."
What would you like, Echo?
She's going to look over at Wilhelm. She looks to Fowler. He seems more interesting. And she's just going to take a seat across from Wilhelm, who looks a little alarmed by that statement.
Oh, you're lucky. She only finds certain people interesting.
Fowler, meanwhile, looks a little put off by that statement. Well, quite.
I've never been found interesting, Valda, so that's a special thing. She only likes Corvus usually.
Well then, Wilhelm.
She's a very interesting being.
Well, Wilhelm, if you will keep our other guests entertained, in the solid stone walls, it is quite comfortable here. And Wilhelm just nods and starts to talk to Echo, who just leans on the table, like watching him intently. And Fowler nods to the rest of you and goes, "Right, off we go then." And we'll start leading you out, taking you down the street towards the one of the sort of, not so much a garden, it's just like just a random piece of greenery in the city.
Valda, I am going to see if I can get some requisitions of materials. I'd like to try and get another long distance radio arranged. Corvus's father is a very talented researcher into a subject that might be important to maintaining the balance of magic if things went wrong.
Oh, in that case, that's a very useful thing to discuss.
Yes, I'm going to see what I can pull to set something up, but I also would like to ensure that he gets to go home first. So,
of course, Mr. Adelas, Senior, yeah. She says, looking at you apologetically, Corvus.
Yes, sorry.
It would be remiss of me to mention that your name isn't entirely unknown here. I would be very interested in discussing with you some subject matters that are known to us. Of course. Anything for the furthering of, survival. And she just nods politely. And just looks over at the rest of you and goes, "So, Luther mentions that your friend seems like both a void and an expanse at once."
Yeah. I thought we explained she's an errant thought of the dreamer made shape into a person.
Yes. He also mentions that that seems to be struggling.
What do you mean?
It's as if something's been being held within a flask that is struggling under the capacity of its contents.
Oh,
It is a box too full.
you're saying she can't maintain that?
I don't think it will last.
Kirsten looks sad.
I feared as much.
However, she does seem to be enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would say that's something she had also told us anyways, from when she was her previous self.
Yeah.
The golem.
And frankly, Lufa does not seem to be concerned about it causing any particular damage should it rupture. But I thought it bear mentioning nonetheless. Whether she's the kind of being that should be made aware of this, that is down to you.
I will let her know.
I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if she was already painfully aware of the fact.
Essentially. Right then.
We will discuss it.
Here we have a friendly oak, rather young, but it's growing. And she's just going to go pat her. It's a relative. It's like a really small oak right now.
Oh,
and
what a beautiful thing!
It does seem to be a large stretch of greenery around it, as if to allow for quite some growth.
I'm gonna give it a couple of good healthy pats of Gifton makes everything grow better. Pat, pat, pat.
And oh no, and Fowler looks at it fondly and just goes, "Cannot wait to read beneath this."
Why can't you read beneath it now?
It does not provide that much shade right now. There's nothing quite like a great expanse above you to.
Gifton, no, don't.
What?
Don't.
What?
Just don't.
No.
It's huge.
I think they're saying do not make it grow faster.
Oh yes, the weight is part of the pleasure.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Oh.
But it's also the thing that it would also get.
Corvus, would you like to go with your father?
Yes, that was the idea. I think it would do everyone good.
Want me to? Do you want us to go with you, or do you want to go alone with your father?
I'll make my way back.
Oh, General Greysteel.
And you have business to attend to, regardless.
Fowler's actually setting up the apparatus right now, like it's setting it down on a tripod, pointing towards the tree, and she's just going, General Greysteel. Melinda wanted to tell me to inform you that you are permitted for this kind of travel as long as you're bringing persons known to us back and forth.
Oh, well, good to know. I don't intend to bring anybody too, crazy through.
And we would appreciate if when you do so, you can just alert the nearest gargoyle, just for confirmation. But yes, no need to ask for higher permission than that.
Oh, well, that's quite lovely. Yeah, I just was thinking it'd be nice to kind of do something a little. I look over, kind of give it a little bit of a pained expression. Considering what happened to Mr. Adderlast Senior, it might be better just keep his location a little off the books.
Of course, we are more than happy to facilitate Mr. Ganar's passage through the city. Right, there we go. This should be the correct lens. And she's actually motioning you over, Shaxton, as she's setting this up.
Oh, he'll actually already be over there and just kind of not interfering, but looking and watching. And
Shaxton and Carrick, I think Carrick, you have it. Do you have that melty thingy that was in Dingus's land? Dingus's metal melty thingy. I was thinking we should have maybe Valda and them take a look at it. Maybe they can help for the defenses.
I could.
Well, I'd be happy to look at such an item.
It's a thingy that if you put metal next to it, it makes the metal start vibrating really fast to the point that it melts down.
Oh.
Even if it is magical.
Molecular excitation.
Yeah, it heats up magic metal and destroys it. and catches it on fire.
Molecular excitation's quite exciting, I will say. She says, laughing at her own terrible, what she thinks is a joke.
It is Lord Dingus's property, but he has got it on loan to us, and I'm certain he would let it be examined.
Well, yes, if you would permit me, my dear Lord Dingus, she says, reaching over to scratch Dingus's chin, who just meeps and bobs his head. Oh, marvellous. Okay.
I will also be, for your awareness, be returning to the airship.
Ah, certainly. We'll have the gates ready for your return then.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna
do be careful with the settings on that. It can have quite a long range.
I'm going to ask for a proper lesson on it before it even gets touched.
Herrick or Telde, can either of you send a message to the to Callan Capet to warn him about the incoming Corvus and Grandpa?
You don't have a sending stone to the Capes.
Oh, I do. Find in my bag. I'll take it out.
You're welcome.
Lord Capet, Corvus is coming to Dolwood right now with his father, Aldo Adderlass, via tree at Illan Temple.
Hey, you got 5 more words.
Miss you. Hope you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. Okay. You get the reply of, well, always with the surprising news. I'll have a carriage ready to pick them up. Wait, right now? I'll have a carriage on the way.
All right, a carriage will be on the way for you, Corvus, and Mr. Adderlass Sr.
Please, Aldo.
And Aldo. I'm going to go over and give Aldo a big hug.
And he'll squeeze you tightly in return. And he will actually just sort of say softly to you, Gifton, thank you for bringing my son to me.
No.
And he'll let go of
He
you.
produces the ritual.
I'm gonna say softly to him, keep him looking forward.
Yes, you will as well.
I'm gonna go over by the tree. Are we ready?
Fowler just gives the thumbs up, look from behind her. It just looks like a big camera, essentially.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put my hand on the tree and go, okay, Corvus, here you go.
And we are recording. And she's gonna start explaining things to you, Shaxton, like what's happening. And this is essentially recording the footage here and registering all the magical spectrums that are happening.
Oh no!
It's the magic video camera.
What does she see when she looks at me with
I'm
that?
going,
But okay.
I mean, they're aware already.
I know. It's just I want to also know kind of.
Well, thankfully, skeletons can't whistle, so you do not hear her whistle at the sight of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, you're good to go.
All right, and then we do this.
Okay. You open up.
I sing out a few musical notes and tap the tree.
Aldo is, because he is also a man of intrigue and science, sort of walks through the tree while looking around and like sort of turns to backstep midway through it.
No. Keep going. Keep going forward.
For the unicorn.
And as you hear the voice saying, "What unicorn?" as they all go through, it cuts off as the portal closes behind them, and the 3 of you emerge in Dolwood at the Illan Temple.
3?
Oh wait, Gifton's not going through, right?
Yeah,
Giffen doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go through. I don't mind. I'll wander through.
You can if you want to, but you don't need to.
There still is 3. The unicorn's there.
You know what? I'm gonna give
unicorn's
Alda.
there.
I'm giving Alda a show. I'm gonna step through the other side so I can cast it again to go back through.
She just nods appreciatively at this because now she gets to witness the opening from the other side. It might be different.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Okay. The 3 of you arrive in Dolwood, which is very early morning here because you've been going for your day in the other place. And Aldo looks around and goes, "I've been here. I remember travelling through here. Yes. Marvelous. Been quite some time.
It's a very lovely town. Just so you know, Aldo, your son isn't very popular with the current Shire Reeve of Dulfwood.
What have you done, Corvus?
He stole medical supplies from the keep.
For a good cause, I hope.
Yes.
You do have too much of your mother in you sometimes, I swear.
I started out.
Mm-hmm. And he's just going to give you a really gentle little whap on the back of your head, as if like, bad child.
He also stole medical supplies when we were in Southwest Time.
For a good cause, I hope.
Yes.
To be fair, the guy in Southwest was a bit of a dick. Turned out.
Right, well, we're going to have a little talk about those sticky fingers, mister.
Hey, they save lives too. Wouldn't matter.
You're heading off that way. There'll be a carriage for you.
Yes,
I'm persona non grata at the shrine. I think the priestess of Ilan would prefer me to not cast too many spells here right now. I say with a weak smile.
As her gaze upon you.
As you're saying that, there is a carriage starting to roll down the road towards you. You can see a properly dressed, pay driver on it, and then in slightly different colours, but still a sort of uniform, is Kex. Just sort of hopping up and down on the seat.
Hi, Kex!
Oh, no.
Hi!
How's he?
Hello.
Yes. Oh, yes, not good.
Why not?
Sick. Has the Waswells.
Waswells?
Yeah, Waswells.
What is Waswells? What's
Waswell,
happened?
now not.
Okay.
We're sending up her doctors with you. You take care of her, okay?
Yes. Good big man doctor.
Hello again. Kex.
Hi. Hi, Lord Grandfather. Hello.
This is Kex. He is one of the bodyguards for your son. He was.
He's giving you a look like what?
He is a fine man.
Weird, man. Things got weird, man.
Very weird.
Okay. Well,
it's a story.
And I am a learned, open-minded individual. Okay. And he's sort of staring at Kex. Kex is staring back. And then Kex goes, "Oh, right," and hops down and opens the carriage door. And I was just giving you above another look. It's like, really? It's a story.
It's a story.
Right, well, you have a carriage ride to prepare me.
Well, yes, but there is the thing where you're going to meet Lewis and Albrecht.
Yes, and apparently there have been things that have been left out of any forewarning so far, so you're going to catch me up, and he's going to pat your shoulder before climbing into the carriage. Thank you, General Grey Steel.
Gifton. It's Gifton. Thank you.
Thank you, Gifton.
Bye, Aldo.
And
bye, Corvus.
I'll see you shortly.
And while you're still climbing in, Corvus, like you get clipped on the back because Kex is just like slamming the door shut.
Kex!
Go! As Kex jumps back up onto the front of the carriage, and the very tired-looking coupe driver just nods their head towards you and sets the carriage off at a very steady pace with Kex going, go! Apparently has gotten over fear of horses because seems quite excited about this.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
It's
Wow.
decided that all things are a getaway drive now.
Giving this look and just like, lords and ladies, I've seen everything. Okay.
Yeah. Corvus is going to discover that the goblins have now actually become a favourite of some of the Capay Guard household. And they basically, have shooted like, hey, if anything ever happens to the young Lord Albrecht, this is what you do. You drive, you go far.
You fucking...
Yeah.
I'm honestly so pleased about that because that warms my heart. All right, I'm gonna
is the concept of the wild ride with Melinda.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put my hand on the tree that I'm at. I go, okay, back again.
Okay.
Back to reality.
Yeah, back. I'm gonna flare my wings out for a second, just to like let it out for a second. That, and then pull them back in. Before
Okay. Right. You open the portal out, up, stepping back through. Everyone, it doesn't take long for Gifton to return. She comes back through the portal, and already Fowler is like jabbering excitedly at Shaxton. She's going, look at that. Right, so normally those nature energies are willed. It's almost as if they're being requested to move, yes? You can see communication between them that says, may you part for me. This, it seems almost instantaneous, as if like the knowledge and the will and the connection, it's already there.
Hi.
I think it is this touch of define that. Oh, hello. Sorry.
Interesting.
Between the nattering with her the whole time.
Hey, you won't believe this, but Kex is driving carriage now.
Kex.
Really?
Is that
the goblin.
The checks are really blunt. Who's Kex?
Yeah, it was great. He was slamming the door on Corvus on the carriage that came to pick him up. It was awesome.
Did you give him an extra tip for that?
I didn't really give. I don't know if you tip him. He's got a good job at the Cathay house now. One of our goblin friends is working at a noble house that we know, and he's two of them. Oh, I guess yes is sick though.
Sick with what?
The shit. What was the
Waswells.
The Waswells.
Not familiar with that.
She was well. Now she's not.
Jax is going to give it an inappropriate chuckle at that.
Fowler let out a sort of almost disgusted sound. She's going to start packing up the apparatus.
This skeleton doesn't like puns? Oh no.
You just go to Jackson's secret weakness, shitty puns.
She doesn't like puns that like take away, oh, I'm about to learn about something new.
I am not surprised that that's what goblins would come up with.
Honestly, that's what I got told by Kex. So, anyway, but yeah, he's having a pretty excited time. It's good. They're on a grand adventure. Okay, so we're supposed to be meeting
Morris.
With,
Yes.
Morris. Yeah.
You're all well blessed with meeting Fey Lords?
As well as you can be, I guess.
Right.
I mean, we've only met technically 3-4 at this one to count.
Well, Lord Morris is a pleasant individual. They are delightfully macabre, I'll say.
Oh, are you coming with us to the meeting?
No.
Oh, will you be seeing Melinda?
Yes.
I'm going to hold out some of the paper packages. This is the request from the gentleman in camp.
Ah, marvelous. Well, in that case,
and they wanted me to relay that they are open to.
She's looking at the box. It's like, I don't want to carry these, and she just then sort of does a spell to summon up a Tensor's floating disc, and just gestures for it to it.
Yeah, I'll just put everything on there. I'd be like, here.
You need to use that spell more often.
Yeah, but they are receptive to doing a trade of having one person here, one person there, and moving things forward like that. So.
Marvelous. In that case, I shall get that arranged. Well, Melinda will get that arranged immediately.
Are you familiar with a grove spell?
Not in a personal sense, but I know of it, yes.
I was also going to ask if you could explain to Melinda. I would like to cast a grove spell on the area when things are done, making an opaque fog field and a wind wall as a fixture for the defense. Of course, making sure that your own people would be able to see through and interact through all of the defense I put up.
Well, I will make sure to convince her of the benefits of this.
Because I think it would be nice for the cover for them and added defense for your own people.
Yes. You're also able to, I believe that kind of spell work create guardians of nature. No.
Yeah, I could make treants, but I worry about what would happen to them.
Well, as long as such things, if they are created, are given commands to respond to us, I think it would be permissible.
But treants are people, though.
I do believe that your spell work should convey a degree of control, though. No.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that that control is relayed to us for battle situations.
Oh, I'm just saying I'm not sure if I'd want to summon people in
Things that have a will of their own.
fight that might not want to be there, you know?
She opens her mouth briefly as if this is a little strange to her as a caster that probably does summon up like things. But she closes her mouth and slowly nods and goes, of course.
I mean, I wouldn't want someone doing that to me, and I say somebody probably could.
Yes, indeed. Well then, if it is just the grove itself and the non-sentient components of such spell work, then I do not see a problem with it, and I will make sure Melinda is praised.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to the entrance to the Feywild then.
Yes.
Right, and she's basically going to start leading you through the city once more, towards what seems to be a large central park. And it's got gating. Notably, this gating seems to be of some sort of bronze work, perhaps. Does not seem to be of iron.
Polite.
Yeah, polite. And it's there mostly for looks like it's there for ornamentation and just to give a certain boundary. Like the gate's unlocked. The fencing is not particularly tall. There's no spiking or anything on it. It's just ornamental. There is a little sign at the entrance that just has a simple little reminder on it of be respectful of your surroundings. And she just sort of walks into this large park, which it does have trees. It has a little canopy. There's a gently maintained path of gravel and dirt. And everything here is maintained, but it's not super organized.
Mm-hmm.
It's a park that seems a little wild.
Mm-hmm.
Not too wild. But you are led into the center of this park, where there breaks into a little clearing that has a large circle of mushrooms that then has nothing in the center of it.
Oh, fairy ring.
Yes, quite traditional. Right. Well, we step in and we beg audience.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And by we, I mean you. And she sort of. You shrink down.
Pat on shoulders, push forward.
And Fowler just politely waits for you all to step in, and it goes, well, have a pleasant time with them.
Bye.
Fowler just nods.
See you on the flip side.
Remember us.
Up on our weapon.
And she turns and starts to walk back down the path.
And we were never seen again.
Hello, Lord Morris, and the court of which he presides. May we please have entrance into the Fae?
You hear a sort of echo as your surroundings shift. A brief sort of emanation of light appearing from the mushrooms surrounding you. And if you weren't aware that you are actually plane shifting here, it looks almost more like an illusion's being cast with the way this light sort of drifts up and then settles over the surrounding and shifts them. But you then find yourself standing in a similar little grove, only the surrounding plant life is, it's more macabre. There is like thorn work allowed to grow up around things. There's like a little patch of black roses around you. There's like willows that are just sort of, dangling pleasantly, blowing what seems to be a soft breeze. It's
wow, look at those trees. They're amazing. I didn't know flowers could come in that color. That's awesome.
And standing is a figure that has that tallness that is quite apparent of a Fey Lord. Familiar pointed ears, incredibly androgynous. Like there's a sort of chiseled features, a body that has curves, but they're not super accentuated. They're wearing a loose corset that does seem to have bone work over what looks like to be a black velvet suit that has a weird sort of coattail that is almost a half dress. And the figure seems to be clapping along with your clapping, Gifton. Before it just slows, the hands just to the sides, and they give a pleasant little bow, their arms flourishing out.
Give a curtsy.
I'll give a bow also.
Welcome, dear guests, to my grove. I am Lord Morris of this small patch of the Feywild. It's lovely to meet you all.
It's very lovely to meet you too. I was so excited when they informed me that there was a surviving patch of the Feywild here. Much of the land in Hexenreich is
barren, desolate,
yes,
dead.
Yep.
So, we flourish even in the land of the dead.
Yes. How wonderful.
Yes. And as they sort of straighten up out of their bow, they are definitely wearing like very white makeup. It gives them their very sort of pallor complexion, and there is eyeliner, and they look quintessentially goth. Black lipstick,
didn't
everything.
Know you could use makeup like this, and she's learning things.
Yep. And they sort of gesture with their hands towards a path that is in the same location as the path you took. But you guys know the rules of Feywild well enough to know that this is not where you are coming from. And he goes, I have prepared a small picnic if you want to join me in more comfort.
Oh, of course. That sounds wonderful. I'm going to get up on Dingus and urge him that way.
And
Josh will follow, calmly walking.
and they follow along. Well, lead the way, I should say. Just moving with a casual grace. It's not some of the sort of more floaty ethereal movements you've seen. Just hands clasped behind back, seeming to enjoy their own surroundings. Every now and then they will pause, sort of kneeling down into the path and reaching out to a bush to tend to a plant. They seem to encourage growth here, remove a little errant branch there, just tending to things as they move.
Very curated.
Yeah, it is very curated. And they soon arrive into a more open field. There aren't so many trees surrounding, and it becomes quickly apparent at this point that this is larger than the sort of garden that is within the city. This stretches out much further, and as you step into this open field, the colour of the grass here is almost muted. It's not greyed out as such, but it is dimmer. It's not a vibrant green, but it still has a sort of prettiness to it. It's almost faintly teal. Not bluegrass, teal grass. And there is just a black blanket laid out, which has a large black parasol sort of planted into the earth. And he
how kind of you.
they smile and go. It is not often that we receive new visitors. I thought it would be pleasant to have a pleasant time of it.
Oh.
Please.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm quite rude. I'm Gifton Greysteel. This is Lord Dingus of the Bridge. This is Lady Cassiopeia Steelshod of Barast. This is Lord Telde, Shaxan Roxcala, and Lord Carrick Marsk.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Of Barast as well.
Josh will polite bow.
Mortal lords and ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, mortal lords and ladies.
I see.
Except for Lord
Except-
Dingus.
And yourself?
I am a Barassian lady.
Then from what court do you hail?
No, I have no position in court other than that I serve Lady Titania.
Oh.
She's back. Of course.
That pleases me immensely to hear. And one of Titania's court. It has been a long time since I have seen any of our kind from outside, but it is a greater pleasure than most to receive one of yours.
Please. Give a big nod.
And they are just going to sort of happily like toss themselves down. Like they do that, just plant straight onto the bottom, legs crossed. And they immediately pick up a teapot and start just pouring little cups of tea. Dandelion tea is okay, I hope?
Oh, it'd be quite lovely, thank you.
Yes. We do have some flavorings, lovely biscuits. Did you know that we are basically the only export in those that still have taste buds within the city above?
Really?
They don't get much from outside. At least that's what I'm told.
Oh, they don't. I've been through their city. It's actually quite sad. There's no sweet shops, no meat shops, nothing.
Yes.
Just all books and stuff.
Oh, books
They're fun.
can be fun. It's more fun to see something acted out and performed, though, than read it on dead trees.
Yes. Are they good to you?
Oh, quite good. I mean, they actually sort of point off into the distance, and you can see a structure quite far off. It seems to be quite tall, because just how far away you can see it. You say it looks about half a mile off, and is towering. Seems to be a stone monolith, just a sort of grey stone that seems to have runic carvings on it. A large ring at the top of it, just floating, orbiting around. Seems to have like crystalline structure inside of it, protected by an outer stone surface. And they have made sure that we survive. And what more can you ask for, really?
Do you want contact with the Fae elsewhere?
Complicated question, that. I mean, don't we all yearn for contact? Desperately.
Do you want to be less cut off? Isolated?
Complicated question, that as well. And they sort of smile a little, looking down at their cup of tea. I think we have flourished in our isolation.
I'm sure you have. I'm just...
And they start to sway back and forth on their little blanket.
But my heart aches that I did not know you were here.
That has its advantages as well.
Well,
They lean in to the sort of group of you, which has everyone sort of taken seats? Anyone still standing?
yeah, I'm sitting.
I'm sitting.
Cass is
For what it
kneeling.
matters, I'm sitting.
Cass is kneeling, digging through her bag, looking for something right now.
I'm sorry, I'm still standing. I usually do.
Yeah. Okay. They lean in and just go, between us, not a particularly powerful or influential lord. No, I think back when we were still connected, I was probably going to lose my territory.
Oh.
Sad. So yes, it would be nice. And they sort of like start tapping on their leg a little bit with their hands. It would be nice to have some outside contact, but it's scary. Of course, it's scary.
Yeah.
You're not scary. You seem quite lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Sandwiches?
I've got a bit of home with me, and I'm gonna fiddle with Dingus's saddlebag, and I'm gonna pull out a great big purple leaf.
Ooh, Oh,
I got this from Oberon's castle.
yes, he is quite particular about these only growing in his domain.
Yep.
And may I?
You thought you might like it.
Oh, and they'll take the leaf from you, and they seem to regard it with quite some fixation, gently caressing it with the back of their fingers, and they just sort of hold it to their chest and just, "What beautiful! I shall cherish this. I will make sure that you leave with an appropriate gift for Lord Oberon, of course."
Oh, of course. I'm sure he'll be quite enamored to hear about your gardens. I can't wait to tell him about it. How do you get the flowers to grow that way? They're so different.
I just asked them, of course.
Oh. I'm not good at asking plant things.
Oh, do you not know how to do that?
I can talk to them sometimes, but usually they just go sun and rain, and that's all I know.
Oh, yes. The ones outside are a little more simple. It's not their fault. They don't get quite the education they need. But, you could certainly teach them to grow like proper plants. If you
Grow
are...
like proper plants?
Yes, like ones within the Feywild. Respond to polite requests. Sometimes you have to bargain a little bit. You know how it is. Everyone wants something.
Mm-hmm.
But, you make sure that you get a good understanding, and then, maybe they want some certain nutrients, and they'll become a certain colour for you. I will have to introduce you to some particularly nice plants there. They will help you figure out how to communicate. You're going to be here for a while, yes?
Oh, not too terribly long, unfortunately. There is danger and cataclysm, as is the way of rush and mortal life, that we must abate. And unfortunately, I don't think the good, kind people of Faramir are too keen on our visitation. So we're very lucky they're letting us come see you, though.
They cross their arms a bit before going, "Well, I'll have to tell them that you're to see us more often. We can't just let doom and gloom rule over everything." They smile with their gothy face paint.
Mm-hmm. That would be kind of great. I was also thinking we're going to be having some visitors from over on Barras come over. I could see if any of Lady Titania's Fae would want to come over and visit with you, maybe for a bit.
Oh, certainly. Please extend my invitation to any lords and ladies that don't want to overthrow me.
Yes, of course. I'm certain that I have. Actually, I have something that might help you with that. And gonna get ruffle through my bags, and I'm gonna pull out a big wooden coin that's about as big as Gifton is, and it's got a picture of a elven or a Fey lady on it. This is a favor token for one of the great Fey ladies.
Marwyn.
Yeah. Maybe you could use this to help you secure your territory.
I wish I could.
Why not?
Alas, I must decline your gift with great sadness.
Oh, why?
These are not to be carried amongst us.
Oh.
Mortal coin for mortals. We don't trade currency. Favors put into the form of coin. Not between us. It's not proper.
I don't know where I fall in that line.
They sort of lean in a little closer, looking down at you, and goes, "Well, you're not a lady of a fair court, you say?"
No.
Then it's yours to spend.
Well, maybe I can spend it on your behalf.
That's very sweet.
Oberon also owes me a big favor, too. Maybe I can ask him.
I would not ask you to spend something on my behalf, but I would not object.
No. I don't like seeing you cut off, but I'd like to see you secure.
Yes, indeed. So, you're leaving?
At some point, yeah. There's are you aware of the first dragons?
Yes.
The first dragons are coming. They're back, and Morgani's crazy. Have you heard about all the nonsense going on out there?
They sort of wave their hands as if, like, yes, they've heard about it, but what of it?
Morgani's crazy, and the gods have chosen this. I motion at this. The rest of us, the group of us, to either deal with Morgani's madness or deal with Morgani.
Gods are tricky.
Yeah. And there is a big nasty army coming to Faramir and might wipe them out.
Do you know him more?
Yeah, he's really nice.
He is.
He gives really nice hugs.
Oh, that's nice to hear. That's
He's
one
peaceful.
I would love to meet.
You'd love to meet him more.
Of course.
He is a very peaceful man.
I have come to appreciate death. It's a
think
beautiful
you'd like
idea.
that. I mean, endings are kind of poetic, right?
Aren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
I've had a few endings in my time, but they're not true endings. I don't even know how you do. But you might know. You're associated to Tanya when she's back. Is there no such thing as a true ending?
There is kind of an ending. I mean, I had to do a lot of work to bring her back, so there is kind of a way to end, I guess.
Oh, you must find out for me. I have tried it so many times. I've gotten very creative, but, well, nothing sticks.
I know a couple things that could work. But I hesitate for you to do that when your grove would be unattended and no one would be here to take care of it.
Oh, I barely do any work. There are so many here that are far better at it than me. But I have no intention of running off right yet. It's new. This is interesting. I haven't had anyone new to talk to for ages.
I know that must be quite a thing, especially since everybody seems to take everything very slow.
Don't say just. I have had kind guests in here many a time, and oh yes, they want to spend so much time tinkering with this device or reading this series of books, and it is so dull.
Oh, I came to the city and they told me about you on the first day, and then they were like, "Okay, wait in a room for like 3 days out there," and I'm like,
they have no concept of time. And I have a grand concept of time, a very grand concept of time.
I know, it's awful, isn't it? And I was sitting there going, I could have dug a trench. I could have raised trees. I could have done so many
Why is everyone else
things.
so quiet?
I don't know.
I am enjoying.
I'm just enjoying hearing you two talk.
Oh, God, their voices are beautiful.
Isn't it great? Do you like music?
Yes.
Cass actually finally finds what she was digging for and pulls out a trail ration. You have been so kind as to provide us tea and sandwiches. Might I offer something in return from Barrast?
Thank you. And they'll reach out and take the trail ration from you. And
it might not be that great, but it may be different.
They'll take a bite of it, chew a bit. It's just disgusting. Thank you.
That's exactly what I was expecting.
I'm gonna take out my harp and take my bow out and then turn it into the harp and then I'll start strumming away at it.
Oh, wonderful! And they're going to flop back, like their torso now off of the blanket, just in the grass. They're continuing to eat this trail ration as if this is an interesting experience.
They're just desperate for experience at this point.
And
Telday has the most amazing musical instrument. You should play it, Telday.
Oh, please. And their arms sort of waving in the air as they lean back.
I will reach into my bag and pull out the hurdy-gurdy.
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
I believe it is known as a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, that's a delightful name. Please, hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy.
I don't tend to do that in
I want to
public.
use that. I
No.
have to use that term now more often.
I will start playing, I guess.
None of us can match the hurdy-gurdy.
We're technically on the same plane. We're technically on the same plane as anyone else on the Fae right now, right? For things
Technically,
that
yeah.
stuff. Cool.
Are you casting? Are you wishing for sending?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, why you?
We're gonna have to start sending stones to people in the Feywild next.
I mean, it's a thought. It is a thought. I'm gonna cast sending using wish really quick, to Tanya, and I'd be like, "Hey, Tanya, I am in the Fae over with Lord Morris in the Hexenreich Firmir area. Hi."
Hang on. I really have to look up what I wrote down for this.
Yeah. Oh, she made contingencies. She was ready for my level of bullshit.
Okay. So, you cast a wish that tries to reach outside of the monoliths. Which there's this like weird sort of rushing sound as you see that monolith in the distance start to glow with its runes, and that ring that's just floating at the top of it starts to spin rapidly, and you hear that sort of like rushing of air and a sort of really high-pitched whine coming from over there. And then you also hear that in various other directions. You can't see any other monoliths over the tree line, but you become aware of their presence.
What is that?
Sounds different.
Oh, that's when any particularly powerful magic tries to encroach onto the Feywild. You know, the Hexenreich's trying to burn us out.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, didn't think they'd still be attacking us while, you know, they're all crazy. What crazy does is crazy does.
Yeah. I worry about you here.
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing to worry about. It's safe here. All safe. Day in, day out, safe.
Out of character, is he the only one here in this Feywild?
He's the only one that you're talking to right now.
Have we
Is
seen
it the only
Oh,
one
I'm sorry,
we've
I should
seen?
say they are the only one
There are
talking to right
others.
now.
Have we seen
Fair.
anyone else?
No.
Okay.
They've outright said that there are others theoretically, though.
Yeah, but they're also kind of crazy. So
I also might expect that they would throw a bucket on their head and say they are Jorge and they make the circle.
Turn audio.
I was just trying to let my lady know that we were here, but I guess it won't reach.
Oh, that's sweet of you. But no, nothing in or out, I'm afraid. Nothing in or out. For our own good, of course, you know. That spell stuff, that can really do a number.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, back before we had the wars, it seemed like every day that we were losing more and more. Just that constant encroaching of desolation.
You know what caused the desolation?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. There are structures, You're a Hexenreicher. They're actually pointing at you, Jackson, as if only just realizing.
Yes.
His wards. Sometimes they are stone structures. Sometimes they are carved into the actual rock of the earth itself. I've seen in the old days some metal implantations. Basically, his kind, they put them all over their country, and basically they reach into our plane and bleed it dry of life and love and light.
They want to destroy anything they did not understand.
Destroy anything they don't understand, or they understand and want it gone. was a marvelous power source, so I learned.
They're using it as a power source?
Oh, yes. The Feywild's always
you're
trying
leeching
to heal, so it's a continuous source of energy.
Yes, and if you're just leeching all that energy up, you may as well use it for something rather than just letting it dissipate as a waste.
What
Exactly.
are they using it for?
Mortal things, I suppose. Eating. Pooping. Yes. Must take a lot of energy to do that.
Honestly, probably fueling all the different cities, all the different research areas.
What
all
could
those
they
things.
possibly need all that kind of energy for?
By being a warmongering nation.
Reading books. That must take a lot of energy.
It depends on the book.
Terrified about the fact of how much energy that's sucking up right now. That's in who knows what's hands.
Not ours.
I've seen Oberon rewrite the world around him at a thought. The kind of energy that rolls around in the Feywild. Just thinking that you suctioned it up and just have it for something. What do they have it for?
Horses?
I'd wager there's a reason they're able to create so many things so quickly for technology and such.
Still.
It'd be a freaking bomb.
No. You don't have to put it all in one place for it to be a bomb.
Speaking frankly, bombs as well.
Oh, have you made a bomb? I've not died by a bomb yet. We don't really make them here. Could you make a bomb?
I keep mishearing.
Jax will look to Gifton at that question.
I'm looking at you also. Could you make a bomb?
Given the parts, yes.
I would like to trade for a bomb.
What would you trade us?
What do you want?
Oh, unfortunately, I don't know what I want.
I could give you my most beautiful rose. No, I want that. I
No,
could give you my
keep
second
it.
most beautiful rose. I'd have to find that.
Oh,
Might take me some time. You want it now. You're very short-lived.
I am very short-lived.
No, not you, him. You're going to live for a long time. I can see that.
Really?
What?
What?
Huh?
I'm gonna live a long time?
Are you?
You said so.
Oh, that must be true then.
Oh no. Do you know when it started?
I have a flute.
Do you have a flute? That's nice.
Would you like a flute?
Is Gifton asking when the leeching started?
Yeah, that's what she was asking.
Okay, second question. Do I know that?
Give me a history roll.
Like rough. History, okay.
Yes, you do. You paid attention in that class. It wasn't actually leeching for the harnessing of energy to begin with. The practice of phase suppression actually began about 300 years ago. It is only within the last 60 years, I'll say, that Hexenreikers actually started to harness that energy. Originally, it was basically just bleeding out as ambient energy, which is why Hexenreich did actually have a reputation as a ambiently magic country, simply because there was magic loose everywhere. It did actually start to cause some problems, like you get essentially magic amalgamating itself.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Or just casters could cast wildly higher than
And
they should be able to.
it was
by
the
staying in
attempts
an
to
area.
get it under control that actually led to the discovery of essentially magical batteries and so on.
Jax was just looking very dry. They started about 300 years ago, roughly 60s, when they started converting into battery power.
Yes, what a 300 years it's been. Really been that long?
Yes.
Oof. Wow. It'd make somebody go crazy spending that amount of time running from Desolation.
The more time you're spending with this, the more he's spiraling out.
I'm worried about Morris. I'm worried about Morris. What do the people of Faramir usually get from you?
Oh,
They trade?
yes. So one of the things they love is time. They really like time. Like I
You
could,
deal in time?
yes, if you want, I could give you 50 years in here, day up there.
What?
Hmm?
You can do that?
Yes.
It's differently in the Fae as they change things.
I mean, it's rather draining for that length of time, but without a bomb? I've not died by a bomb before.
I think it'd be pleasant.
Okay, we might have to table that idea, because we have to get permissions from people, but that might be useful.
I suppose Fowler would be really grumpy if I just...
She'll be really mean and unhappy if we did it and she didn't get to come in here and do something too.
Yes, yes, they love booking their time.
Yeah, but we could talk about it with them, though.
Maybe I could give you a few days. I could spare a few days. Is a few days worth a bomb? A small bomb? Wouldn't need to be large.
First, I need the pots to make it.
You said that wasn't pleasant in this looking at view, Cass.
I don't think it would be pleasant. I really don't.
How unpleasant?
Don't go
on
down
the
that
scale
hole.
of being stabbed repeatedly by angels
yes.
and then being blown up by a giant lightning bolt?
Uh-huh.
I'd say pretty close.
Which one?
Yes.
Ooh.
And yes, all of those situations have happened.
I have a really nice teacup. It was given to me by a very nice lady. She was funny as anything, I think. I would happily trade a teacup
For a bomb.
for a bomb.
She is the teacup.
Or bomb.
What would you like for a bomb? I need a bomb.
All right, what if we will trade you something for a bomb,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to talk to the people on the outside first because they might be very unhappy if you died to a bomb and then they couldn't talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, I could be back tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, ask Fowler if I'm allowed to have a bomb, but she shouldn't object.
Okay, we'll make sure we ask because Valda and them were very protective of you. They care about you a lot.
They do. I remember she was like, "You want to do this?" And I was like, "Oh yes." And she was like, "It'll hurt." And I was like, "That's the point."
What did she do? To hurt you?
No. She was saying I shouldn't do it.
Shouldn't do what?
Oh, so they have this marvelous device. It's a rotating blade that has like little notch blades on it. They use it for cutting wood.
Oh.
I built a slide.
Oh my god.
Saw, that's the word. Saw at the bottom, down the slide. Very exciting. Painful. Morty.
Oh yes, thank you. Lovely.
So, yes, thank you. And
Oh,
he has
I also had a
very
wonderful.
dry expression on his face.
I also had a wonderful tea once. Took me quite a few hours to perish after drinking it, and vivid visions while it was happening. Very exciting. Would recommend it heartily.
How did the visions?
I don't remember.
Oh, but they were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sounds like it's very exciting.
I think I understood a lot more than I do now. Things seemed very clear in that moment. I think death is the perfect clarity. Every time I die, it's like I understand myself a bit more, and everything around us. It's those little moments of understanding. They are Delicious.
Jess actually has a very disturbed look on her face.
Gifton kind of gets a far off look and kind of nods. Yeah, I can see it because I mean, you kind of go back to the Fae for
Yes.
a little bit. And they're
Felder
part of everything.
called me something once. What was it? Yeah, a Thanatonaut.
What's that?
It's somebody that is exploring death.
Well, I will tell Amor that you are a Fae and you are very interested in his work.
Oh, I would love to meet him more. You know him more?
It's very lovely,
Yes,
man.
you said so.
Yeah.
Can I trade you a bomb for meeting him more?
What am I going to do with a bomb?
No. You give me a bomb, and in turn, I meet him more.
Ooh. That sounds like a really good deal for you.
A grand deal. I'll throw in a teacup.
I will try to get you more to meet with you, and you don't have to give me anything. How about that? But you still have to trade Shaxan for the bomb, because I can't make the bomb.
Okay. Strike a hard bargain. More tea. Your cup's already been refilled.
Oh, thank you. You know, I have
not refilling anybody's cup at any point.
I have a blade that it said that if anything that's stabbed with it will never heal and will die. And then they can never be brought back.
Their eyes seem to alight. Truly.
Also
Yep.
kill the person using it or something.
No, that's not that one.
Oh.
I'm talking about selflessness.
Would love.
Basically, whoever uses it is suddenly filled with a bunch of divine power in the moments of death that they can unleash.
Oh.
And then they're burned up and they're gone.
Oh, that would be a marvelous thing.
Maybe, if Faramir needs it, we could talk them into letting you use this knife, to aid in the defense of their city.
As long as I get the bomb before, I must experience more.
You must experience more, of course. But
you have to save that final one. It's got to be like strawberry on the cake,
Yeah, especially since you know that there will be an end, right?
Yes.
There won't be more, so you need to know as much as possible first.
Yes. Oh, you understand?
Yeah, life is exciting like
Not
that.
many understand.
Yeah.
They don't.
But
It's actually pointing upwards.
I think that it's good for you to know that there is something out there that will end it.
They close their eyes.
That means that everything day to day, keeps having a meaning.
Oh, that is
right?
Wonderful.
I don't think that dying's bad because I figure that it just means everything that happens right now means a little bit more. It makes everything more real, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely to have guests that know what I'm talking about. They all want to keep on going and exist forever.
I have that same problem, I say, looking over at my friends. I know some people who want to live for freaking ever, never want to die.
Ugh.
Cass is just kind of going, but I don't want to go back.
Oh, you've died.
She has.
He's continuing to give his very dry
And-
impression.
How did you die?
I blew up.
She,
Ooh, a bomb?
No,
Lightning.
I blew up.
Internal combustion. You're not an engine.
No,
Valda
She
told me about
I-
engines. I want to be in contact with one.
She was a Nephilim.
As a small aside, you still have not explained to us, Cass, how that came to happen.
Nephilim are created when an angel loves a mortal being very much.
Yep. And they bump uglies.
I think it's quite beautiful, not uglies.
I know. I don't know why they say call it bumping uglies because it seems like it's pretty
Well,
parts,
the floppy
right?
bits are rather comical.
Yeah. Cassie's mom's an angel.
Oh, well,
Currently in
congratulations.
prison.
Ah, that's
She's in trouble. She did a naughty. She had a mortal baby.
the being in prison place is
No,
no fun.
I think the being in prison thing was more due to her getting pissed and trying to kick in someone's door in heaven.
They are pompous up there.
That was in response to her dying, I believe.
Oh, that's sweet. So, you internally combusted.
No, I externally drew up way too much energy.
Oh, I've done that to myself. How did it feel for you?
Do you want the pun answer or the real answer?
Oh, real. We must exchange truth here.
Cass is actually standing up and walking away and just going, it was quite possibly the most painful thing I have ever experienced, and I don't like remembering it, but since you asked, I will tell you. It was like every inch of me was on fire simultaneously from 1,000 different sources. Every little bit stripping me away, bit by bit.
While she's describing this agony, Morris is actually leaning in closer to Gifton, going, most painful experience thing she's experienced yet.
Oh, that's funny.
But if you're ever interested in anything worse than that, I can help you.
Oh no, it was what came after that was worse.
Ooh, revelation truth.
What happened next?
Terror, darkness, fear.
I remember those. It fades away after a few times.
No, this was for 10,000 years.
You don't actually particularly remember a length of time, Cass.
No, that's why Cass is going, I think.
Huh.
10,000 years. What's 10,000 years between friends?
Mm-hmm. Apparently like a day or two on the outside.
Make death your friend, and stops being scary.
Where everybody looks at Gifton and goes, is that true?
But truth be told, Morse, I fear that if you were to truly die, you might go where I ended up. And
No,
I wouldn't
you
wish
won't.
that on anyone.
He won't. He's Faye.
I don't know. Going to a new place sounds exciting.
Mm. And the mortals get to go to neat places like the heavens.
Yes. But that's
You think it's
not
boring
death.
there? That's not death.
What? No, it's not, is it?
It's like a holding room.
Just you're still, and they actually snapped the sides of their heads a few times. Existing.
Mm-hmm. You just moved to a different place.
Yes, it's like visiting the city. Oh, I've gone to a different plane. How exciting!
Mm-hmm.
It's just. I apologize. I'm not
fine.
going to go on one of my rants about the meaninglessness of existence if it has no end.
There is somebody I wish I could have brought to talk to you.
Is it more?
No.
I have some concepts for them. I think they would dig.
Oh, like what?
Why not take people to that place up there, and why not just... I'm sure they must have the power to end it. Surely, if anybody can end it, it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Mastery over death itself. Why are you just... It's a new life. They're moving them to... I'm ranting. I'm not going to do that. Fowler says I must be polite.
You're allowed to rant with me.
Tea?
I mean, we're having an engaging conversation, and I invited the topic.
Well, so you're going to make me a bomb. I'm going to give you a teacup, and then...
Jackson, do you want a teacup, or do you want 50 years in here?
I'm fine with the teacup for now.
Oh, Marcus.
Are we actually making
I feel like you're being undersold.
So, I have a question about this bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just like being stabbed? Because I've done that a few times.
It'd be closer to having yourself ripped apart.
Okay. I suppose it'll be different enough. It should be an experience.
Probably with like a tinge of fire to it, right?
Ooh.
Because there'd be the burning.
Wild beasts and flames tearing away at you. I like it. Beautiful imagery. Now I have to get a painting of that.
You'll have to make sure that you do it someplace where it won't hurt any of the pretty plants.
I must also show you all my gallery.
Oh, you have a gallery.
Each time I find a new way to die, I get it commemorated.
Oh, wow. How many have you gotten?
Let's see. They start counting on their fingers repeatedly. About 700-ish.
Oh, that's impressive. I don't think I could account that high.
Oh, I know some plants that are good at counting. You should talk to them.
Oh, I found out there's a number called 1,000.
Yes. Oh, I'm close to reaching that one.
What was the...
You knew about 1 million.
Oh, million, yeah.
Oh, do you think there are truly 1 million ways to die?
There might be.
Isn't that a thought?
What happened to all the Fae that were over there? I point beyond the thing. Did they die?
I don't really know. I mean, it didn't come back. That's what I'm trying to understand. I want to be like them.
Lord Morris, are you here by yourself?
Oh, no. I've got my plants. I've got my subjects.
Oh, where are your subjects?
Resting right now.
Resting?
They... Last one... Clarice, I think it was. She said she was just going to go away for a while. She'll come back soon.
Oh, when was that?
I think about 5 years ago. Not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. It was just boring without the others, And everyone has to reset the cycle now and then. It's no fun being the same role.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to change.
Yes.
Um.
That's why I am trying some new decorations, spice the place up a bit. I have discovered some beautiful new shades that I think they will love. It's going to draw them back. When they awaken, they will see how fresh and new everything is.
Yeah. Well, we'll be coming back to visit you, and like I said, I'll see if any of Titania's can come visit. Or I'm pretty sure they won't let me bring Titania over to visit. I'm pretty sure that will scare the crap out of Faramir if I try to bring her through a portal here.
Do ask them, though.
Yeah, I was thinking I could ask if Lord and Lady Oberon could come visit you.
Lord Oberon, I'd rather Lady Titania.
He's really nice now. He's kind of turning it over.
No, he decided to be a nice cycle.
Yeah, he's on a nice cycle.
Oh, okay. The daughter of Velbron's fine then. But and Morris actually sort of leans in as if conspiracy whispering, I heard he breaks character.
Sometimes. He was a little confused when I met him first, because Titania was still dead, and he said he thought I looked a lot like Titania, and he thought I was Titania, and he was so grief-stricken because she was dead, and it got awkward.
Did he not reset his cycle since Titania's death?
I shake my head.
Ooh. That'll make somebody go crazy.
Yeah. When was the last time you reset your cycle?
I think roughly 5 years ago. I've been desperate for another reset. Clary says it was the last painting. I felt wrong doing it without commemoration, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you don't have anybody to paint for you right now, right?
No.
Oh.
I asked the Hexenreich about the trade, but they feel comfortable doing that.
Oh.
You know, Felder comes down, talks to me. Sometimes she talks to me about death. I like it when she does that, but most of the time she's just like, oh, you know, look at this lovely book.
Did you know that the Fae used to be part of a goddess who died?
Trudy?
Yeah.
You can't speak lies.
No, I'm not speaking a lie. Speaking truth. There was a goddess that died. The gods killed her. And we're what came out of that.
You say this thrice.
I say it thrice.
Oh.
I'll say it 9 times.
There's no death even for the gods.
I mean, she's gone.
But you say this all comes from her.
Yeah, but this isn't her, is it?
I suppose not. The mushrooms feed on the rotting animal. It's not the animal.
Yeah, it's not the animal. It's just everything moves on to something else.
Oh, so we subsist off of her corpse.
Isn't that amazing?
Beautiful.
Yeah. I thought you'd enjoy that.
What was her name?
Lalasil.
Oh. I thank you, Lalasil, for your nourishment.
She was the goddess of music.
A beautiful thing to be a goddess of. How did she die?
The twin sister of Mirith.
Little light play. How did she die?
They killed her.
What method? Can't imagine knives would work on a god. No bombs, no swords.
The gods did it. We're supposed to fight Morgani. That's how we found out about all of this.
Are you going to give her her end?
Maybe we have to.
Maybe I should learn to paint.
Learn to paint.
It's a wonderful art.
Carrick's a really good painter.
Would you paint for me?
I could paint something for you, yes.
Perhaps once I receive this bomb, you will do a painting for me.
Everyone else is imagining the same thing I am, right?
Yep.
Painting of the bomb going off with them. For them.
Oh no, just paint him sitting on the bomb, smiling.
They will do what they please. But I would love to see your other paintings.
Oh, then please, any more tea before we go?
Oh, I'm quite good. I couldn't drink another drop.
I am quite full, thank you.
I am quite well as well.
So Morris stands up and sort of excitedly motions you along, and we are going to end the session with you all taking a tour through Morris's gallery, which is a strange structure in itself. It's like a really thickly wooded area, but like trees growing into archways, almost like it's made a corridor out of trees mere inches from each other. And on them, hung in frames that look like they are grown from branches themselves, grown into a square fashion, are so many paintings of Morris dying in various manners. They start you at the beginning. First off, it's just simple stabbings, cuts in various locations, hangings, and they do just start to get more and more elaborate. And these are all like them in the middle of death throes.
Wow.
I wonder if he just stabbed himself with an iron dagger and just left it there if it would work. Out of character, not in
That is probably one of the paintings.
Yeah.
That is the one.
There's like a painting of them like swallowing what looks like to be iron pellets. Yeah.
We're taking iron pills today.
It is macabre. Some of them are incredibly grotesque. Yeah, they seem to be very happy to show you these paintings. And as does happen in the Feywild, the time passes strangely. Allowing you to take this sort of elongated tour without it feeling like much time is passing at all.
We have missed the physical appearing.
And eventually the tour will end, and essentially there isn't too much more to discuss. Morris giving you a really, really fond farewell and requesting with an almost pleading tone in their voice that you return.
With the bomb.
The bomb's added as an afterthought, but there is a desperation for you to come back.
Yeah, desperation for visits.
Mm-hmm. They definitely seem tired of Faramir visits. Like,
So are you saying that we should just have all the Faramirs you visit take a bomb with them, and he'll be happy?
Yep. And as
Kristen just wants to take him home. That's all she wants to do. She's like, I don't mind that he's got a creepy, macabre way. It's all right. He's gonna be fine. He can live with us at the bridge.
And
he needs someone to love on him. He desperately.
The proper
He
term
needs someone to just fucking be there.
Yeah.
He needs an
Man
intervention.
ain't got no conversation for years.
Sorry, you were talking.
and as you emerge from your visit to the Feywild in Faramir, waiting for you outside the circle, basically taking up the entirety of the wide tree growth path, is Sigmund. And just behind them seems to be another dragon, still flesh covered and such. And Sigmund just says, someone for you to talk to. And that's where we're going to end this week's session.
What was that? Someone to talk to?
Someone for you to talk to.
Yeah, and my guess is it's the dragon that they
resurrected.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, not that they resurrected, that
Or
they
did the
cured.
put the soul into the phylactery.
Okay. Alright. We are going to do a cool 3,000 experience points for everybody. Take your one piety, and we will do this same time next week.
We got 3,000 for last session, was that right?
Yeah.
Sure.
The one that I bounced off early?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe
Okay.
so.
Just
It should